Good morning, Baton Rouge. Once again, the great show of mornings without Brian Haldane. Dixon McMakin here, joined by the fabulous Emily Chenervert, Big John on the ones and twos, helping us out this morning to close out the final Friday of 2024 on Talk 107.3.
That's right. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Everybody good?
Doing great.
Wow. No, it's going to be a great show, great lineup all morning. So other than the little rain this morning, it's a good day. It's a good Friday.
Rain and foggy, but you know what? Not a lot of kids on the road for school, so
that's right.
Stay safe out there. We'll talk about some of that fog coming up as well. But we got a great lineup today. It's pretty much the who's who that Brian can never get on this show. So we went out and we asked them all. And, of course, they said yes because the ratings from Monday, according to the national radio service that I tune into, highest ratings in the history of Mornings with Haldane because it was without Brian Haldane. That's what I heard.
That's what you heard?
From Gordy Rush. That's just the rumors. So, once again, we're going to try to beat our own record this morning. In the 6 o'clock hour, what an all-star crew we have. Ronnie Rance coming on, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Coach Gabe Fertitta, formerly of Catholic High School, now the offensive coordinator at Nichols State, the Colonels down there. So we'll have some football to talk, some Italian to talk with him. He might be a cousin of yours.
We have all Italians on this morning. Nice.
Garrett Graves, the congressman, coming on to talk about the Social Security Windfall Act that he did. In the 7 o'clock hour, another just great lineup. Zach Kilshaw's coming on to talk about Mayor Sid Edwards' transition and the functions that are going to happen next Thursdays when he gets sworn in. Then the Secretary of State, Nancy Landry, coming on to talk about her year, the elections, everything that she accomplished. Then we're bringing on my mentor, Big John from New Orleans, to talk about how great of a mentee I am, really. We gave him only 4 minutes to brag, so he'll go a little long as well. Then in the 8 o'clock hour, Emily, another just phenomenal list.
Phenomenal list. We have our governor coming on and our attorney general. So we're excited about that to wrap up the last Friday of the year when you think about it, right? Like this is it. It's here. We're about to move into 2025, maybe talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions, that kind of thing. So it'll be good. It's going to be a good day, a great day.
How the year went. Then we have another guest that we might be adding in there as well. We'll see if they reply to us this morning. Oh, and Nathan Russ is coming on.
Nathan Russ,
Baton Rouge
school board member. That's right, our school board member. It's going to be a great day. Talk about things going on in the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board. So we have a good lineup this morning.
So stick around, tune in, and just enjoy it. And now we'll start off with top stories and trending. We're going all John here on this one. The best part of the show.
I feel like I'm on the spot here.
No.
All eyes on me. Let's see. Oh, man. As far as top stories go, I mean, so much. Where do we even begin? Man. So I'm a little unprepared this morning, if I'm being honest. But I will talk about this, though, because there's so much, man. There's so much negativity out there, and we can dive into that later. But right now, we were talking recently. We're going to have some fun with this. So recently, we were talking about Christmas movies before we went on the break there. And I know that this may not be what anyone wants to hear, but some trending topics is what did Kevin's parents do in Home Alone to be able to afford a vacation for that many people? And director Chris Columbus dispelled some rumors, and apparently the mother was a fashion designer, and the father worked in advertising. So
really,
how in the world? I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Christmas, you know,
and a fun fact about that film, apparently the home was redone, and people don't like it. It was modernized a little bit, all painted white, and so all the coloring on there is not as it was in the movie, and so a little bit of an uproar there. But going on to the next thing.
Yeah. Shoot.
Also, there was a rumor, I believe, that his uncle lived overseas and his uncle paid for everything.
This is true.
That was also part of it as well. But yeah, as you get older and you realize the van, the house, the this, the that. Then they just did how much his room night was for Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
$355 in 1992 would now cost you $4,300 a night to stay in that same hotel room.
Wow.
And he only spent $955 on his bill for the weekend he was there. That'd be a little more, too.
Oh my goodness.
Questionable for sure.
And then as far as top stories go, I mean, what about these drones, right? I mean, apparently the U.S. doesn't have clear policy on drone incursions. So, yeah.
Well,
That's
there's also
posing a threat.
this is true, and a lot of states are looking into that. How do they, in the difference between a lot of personal drones and then these larger commercial drones, and so what we can do. So.
Yeah, it's insane. Absolutely insane. I personally could not imagine looking out the window right now and seeing an SUV-sized drone outside the window right now, and can't do anything about it.
It's true.
It's a little freaky. Anything else, Sonia? You're in.
Yeah, I saw something over in Zachary past couple of days. A man shot another hunter. So they both were on a small piece of property, didn't realize they were both hunting it, shot him with a 20-gauge shotgun, had to go to Our Lady of the Lake. So for those out there in hunting, remember to use precaution. Put your orange on. Even when you think you're the only person on a piece of property, you never know when old Dick Cheney might be walking around out there and just takes one out on you. So be safe out there. But, yeah, up in Zachary, man had to go to the hospital because he was shot out deer hunting. Wow.
Well, you can never be too safe. We have this conversation all the time in our family of all the hunters. So you're right. You gotta be safe out there.
And then, of course, it is fog season. We just heard that a little bit in the weather report now. The dense fog in Louisiana is here, so be aware of that as you're traveling. Maybe you're driving to New Orleans later today. You're going to be on the Spillway or the Causeway getting over there. Please be safe out there in the Atchafalaya as well. Lots of fog this morning, so be aware of that. Do not put your flashers on when you are driving. That is not what you're supposed to do. It is against the law. Do not put your flashers on. Alert, alert, alert. Do not do that. I hope you get pulled over. I hope you get a ticket. Do not do that. Even in the fog, don't do it. Just your lights is all you need. No flashers.
That's right.
Passionate about this issue. I can tell.
There might be a bill coming about driver's ed this session coming up by yours truly, and that's on the test. So don't do it.
Forward to it.
Don't do
Adding
it.
it to the test. Listen in.
Sorry.
Another is roundabouts, right?
Oh, it's on there too.
Oh, it is?
All you have to do, look to the left. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Pull up, look to the left. I don't know why you look to the right. There's nothing to the right.
This is true. This is
You're
so
going
true.
to the right. Just look to the left. That's what you do. You approach, look left, no car there.
Love it.
Keep going. Keep
I like
moving.
it. I
Blinking
like it.
yellows, how to merge on the interstates. Oh, boy. We got some thoughts.
And things have changed so much, I'm sure, since the last time we've took a driving
Probably
test.
so.
Right? Yeah, so
For
much.
sure. A lot has changed,
Oh,
I would say.
well, good. I'm glad to know that's coming down the pipe.
Oh,
So-
get ready, John. That'll be a whole
Yeah.
segment. We might do a call-in show for that one.
Oh, I don't know.
Would it
You know.
be what to add to the driver's test?
Ooh,
Or would it
yeah.
be, would that be the call in?
You know what it
Fire
could
off
be?
on Facebook. Let us know.
That's right.
Yeah,
We'd love to
fire on
know.
Yeah.
Facebook. I mean, that was Ed Buggs used to have a radio show here in town Friday afternoons. He kind of had that Moscona slot. And I remember he would have What Bugs You Fridays. We might have to
Nice.
bring back in his honor just what traffic bugs you on a Friday. Call in. We'll see when G-Rush rolls in here about 8:30 since, we're here early this morning. He doesn't, when the VP of operations comes in at 8:30, we're all here working hard. But, yeah, what bugs you Friday with
What bugs
traffic?
you Friday with
Give
traffic?
me an example of what bugs you. Ooh, I got plenty. That could be a whole 4-hour show.
Yeah.
It really could.
Well, we're off to a good start. Already ranting and rambling. But, hey, it's Friday. If you're listening out there, you're probably like, what's going on? But we got some great guests coming up today. So we know you're going to tune in to hear what they
Yep.
have to say,
Right.
not so much what we have to say.
Right. This is true.
And we'll be back after this. Talk 107.3 Mornings without Brian Haldane.
I like this idea. This is good.
Then the first voice you hear is Brian.
You're right, yeah. They had Jeff was on the Moon Griffon show yesterday with Blake Miguez.
Oh, really?
And Blake, I didn't realize Blake talks like, well, Governor, like he's got this sweet, just soft voice.
He does. Very nice voice. They were all three at one time? Was it all three?
No, Moon,
Just Moon.
he was filling in for Moon like we are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually one of my 5 bills.
Is your
For a DMV test.
was that just something you saw was concern you're frustrated about? You're like, it's not on the test. We're doing it.
So the last time any one of us took a driving test in here was the day we got our license.
Right.
That was it. We haven't done anything since. We've not had to do any re-education since.
So is it to do something like that?
Yeah. It's not a driving test. It's just a hey, like, remember, you're supposed to put your blinker on 100 feet before you turn. Like, there's a thought.
This is true.
Don't put your emergency lights on in the fog or the rain. Don't do that. Stay in the right lane. Hey, there's a thought. It's pretty much just Dixon's complaining list, but turning into a law.
I gotta get on the rest of those. I've got one option. I'm waiting to hold one.
And that's the hard part with the limited we have.
I know. But I want to dive into some fiscal stuff, and so,
I'm going to meet with some CPAs. I'm actually going to set us up with that. David something is in charge of the CPA Association now. So I'm going to get a meeting with him at the turn of the year with all of us.
For the better delegation, that'd be awesome.
Maybe us, just like the rookies.
That'd be awesome. I want to look at some ways we can, like, I love your idea about board of regents, that kind of thing. Like, what are some interesting things we can do to
Some big stuff.
trim? Yeah, some big stuff.
And if you don't get it done, at least you start the conversation of, okay, tell me why we should keep it. Come to the table. Let's hear what you.
I did read about we have a coach is in Scotlandville. She's the second woman to get Coach of the Year.
Really?
It was on WBRZ of, I didn't look at it and see it last night. I was looking at news. Where is, this is sports. Okay, we'll come in a little bit later.
Welcome back. Baton Rouge, South Louisiana, United States, North America, the world, Northern Hemisphere, universe, solar system. Welcome into Mornings Without Brian Haldane.
Wherever you are listening in.
Someone's out there. You know, I used to say that on Catholic Eye Radio, and they were like, why do you say it? I was like, we had one guy tuning in South Korea. So, like, you never know where someone is.
This Friday morning, you never know.
You just assume you're limited to District 68 and 66. Oh, no. They're everywhere. They're out there tuning in. So, a few sports highlights. I don't think there's no clip for this, is there, John?
No,
just us talking sports.
Something.
And, of course, last night the Pelicans lost again to the Rockets, 128-111. The Pelicans are now 5-26 on the season, so not good for the Birds down there. But this Sunday, come to the PMAC. It's not a doubleheader, but it's a women's and men's home game Sunday. Pretty cool. So at 1 o'clock, the 6th-ranked Lady Tigers will host Albany.
Fun.
Then at 6 o'clock, the men will take the court to take on Mississippi Valley State. So 2 games, 1 day, lots of promotions. Go to lsusports.net to check that out. I mean, Sunday after Christmas, your final kind of Sunday of the year,
right.
Want something to maybe do.
Yeah.
You could spend 8 hours in the PMAC listening to Jacques or me, PA, announce those games. Come on, I mean,
why not?
Come on.
Why wouldn't you?
Go Tigers, One Love, Woof Woof, all the prize packs we do. It's free T-shirts are guaranteed to be thrown at some point, and both of them should dominate those games.
Sounds like a great time.
And, of course,
Good
bowl season keeping up. I did see that. Did you see that the NFL and the NBA both played on Christmas Day?
Yes.
The NBA claims it was their day. LeBron said that at the end of his interview. The ratings, though, would tell you the NFL dominated the ratings. And, of course, Beyonce on the Netflix halftime show. Whoa, pretty good stuff.
I have to say, I was locked into Family that day. I didn't even watch anything like that, but I've heard like people were talking about the show, and so But I know a lot of people were big sports day for a lot of people.
I was locked into that TV after the family chaos had gone down, so we were good. And speaking of chaos, a man that has more jobs than anybody I know coming up at this next break, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame's own Ronnie Rance. When we come back, mornings without Brian Haldane.
Yeah, that one's always kind of close because
that was a good one.
No,
short and sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was going to mention they had a 6 overtime game, Toledo versus Pitt last night. Oh. All right, you still have Ronnie's number, I think?
Yeah. Good morning, sir. This is John. With 107.3? Yes, sir. All right. Good, sir. You'll be good to go in a few minutes. All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Was the AC turning on, or Gordy Rush fell down the stairs?
Elevator issues? That's what it sounded like a little bit this morning. How long will that be? How long will that be? Traffic. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sometimes they talk about it. We just go into Rance's interview. If you're not using Waze to get around, that's your fault.
Waze. It's true though, because you just do it in Apple Maps, but then Waze will tell you where to go. It's just so wet and muggy, and days like today, you're just like, oh.
Days like today, you just want to stay in your bed sleeping instead of doing it. Be in your bed. Welcome back. Mornings without Brian Haldane. Now we're going to get into our lineup of VIP all-star guests on the last Friday of the year. Let's welcome in the big guy. Some call him Jumbo. I call him just a great guy, good friend. Ronnie Rance, the executive director of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, owner of the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Jumbo, how you doing this morning?
Good morning, man. Good morning. I'm doing great.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for waking up on a Friday morning to be with us on Mornings Without Brian Haldane. You're starting off just this VIP lineup we have, Ronnie. Couldn't be more excited. You got more hats to wear and more things to talk about. I mean, where do you want to start? Maybe with the Sports Hall of Fame coming up this June 26th to 28th and the just all-star crew that y'all are inducting as well this year.
Yeah, a lot of people's where is the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame? So let's start with that. It's downtown Natchitoches, especially for those this time of year is amazing up in Natchitoches because the Christmas lights are on. The whole city is just lit up like a Christmas tree, and it'll stay that way for another couple days till the first of the year. But it's right on the banks of the Cane River in downtown Natchitoches for the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. It's open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4:30 p.m. And the induction for the Hall of Famers each and every year, Dix, is in the summer. This year it's the last week of June. That's kind of the traditional week. So it's that final weekend in June. It's right after the College World Series ends, the weekend after the College World Series ends. Hopefully LSU's in the finals, and we're all excited about it. And then it's the perfect time of the year because there's nothing going on other than Major League Baseball that weekend, and everybody else in the world is done. So it allows everybody in the sports world, all the sports writers, all the coaches, players. It's the best weekend to make sure we have as much attendance and as many people that can make it as possible without conflict. That's why the sports writers years and years ago started doing that Hall of Fame induction in the summer. And this year's class is incredible. You got a guy by the name of Andrew Whitworth. Everybody knows he's on NFL Network. He's on Prime, former LSU Tiger great and NFL Super Bowl champ. We also have a guy you know pretty well, Dale Weiner, going into the Hall of Fame. We got 3 coaches this year, which you just have one sometimes, but we got 3. And Dale, of course, from Calicut, you probably know his resume as well as anybody, and won a state championship at 2 different schools, and just a class individual with 300 wins in the state of Louisiana in high school football. We also have a guy named Danny Broussard over at St. Thomas More, who is 6th in the United States of America in high school basketball wins, and still going strong in his mid-60s, and has like 8 state championships. And then Joe Sherman, the head baseball coach over at Delgado down in New Orleans, one of only 5 father sons, or 3 or 4 father sons that are in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. He'll be joining his dad, Rag Sherman. Joe's been the head coach since 1990 over at Delgado and has been to the College World Series numerous times. And on and on and on. A great class. And you can find out more information all online at lasportshall.com.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, of course, I want to give another shout-out to Herb Vincent going in as well, one of my former bosses at LSU Athletics, now with the SEC. Just when you think of Herb Vincent, you think of class and just respect and just one of the best in the business that we operate in a lot of times as well.
Yeah, people don't realize, too, what a role he plays over at the SEC office. I mean, he started off in the mid-'80s at LSU, or late 80s at LSU, after a time with the New Orleans Breakers, and then eventually went to the SEC office, and is now such an important role with the SEC, obviously the most powerful league in college sports, and who knows, maybe he'll be the commissioner one day of the SEC.
Man, I would love to be able to just text the commissioner some complaints I have. That would just be. You might have to change his number from all his Baton Rouge people. That's right. Still. Yeah, so that's at lasportshall.com. That's going to be June 26th, 28th. Love that too, Ronnie, like you said. Hey, there's no reason for you not to be up there unless I think I had a wedding last year I was in, so that's why I missed it. But there's nothing else going on. Head on up to Natchitoches, right there, top of the state, just a great spot. So Also coming up for you, I know the Baton Rouge Rougarou coming up. How's our lineup looking? Are we already preparing for that, or do we have to wait for the season to get through before the Rougarou take their bats out at Goldsby Field?
Yeah, well, the Baton Rouge Rougarou is a summer collegiate wood bat baseball team. So you think minor league baseball, but with college players. You know, these guys don't get paid. You just house them, you feed them, you travel them, you take care of them. And, you know, there's over 25 leagues around the country. The Texas Collegiate League has 3 teams in the state of Louisiana, the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators, the Acadiana Cane Cutters, and us. And we play in June and July, 48 games that summer, 24 at home. All the games are at 7 o'clock at night at Pete Goldsby Field, historic Pete Goldsby Field, downtown Baton Rouge. And we've already signed, I think, 29 players.
Wow.
We'll sign, we'll have 30 active at a time. We usually go through 45, 50 players over the course of the summer. For your 30-man roster, because some guys come and go, or some guys will pitch for a half of the year, that sort of thing. But no, looking forward to it, man. Each and every year, this will be our 4th summer that I've owned the team, and each year's been better than the year before as far as attendance and people being excited about the Baton Rouge Rougarou and knowing who we are, and the quality of the team has gotten better. Last year we finished with a winning record, had the best team in the best record, regular season record in the state of Louisiana. And people can go to brrougarou.com. That's brrougarou.com, and get you some swag. We got some great hats, T-shirts, all jerseys, all that kind of stuff online. Get ready for the season, which will begin the first Tuesday in June, the Tuesday right after the NCAA regionals.
Well, go check it out, folks. Support the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Ronnie, we really appreciate you waking up this morning and helping us spread that information. We wish you the very best in 2025, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, my friend. Have a great one.
You too, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Bye, guys. We'll be back into this mornings without Brian Haldane.
My son had a chance to go to the game. It was a good time.
Their PA announcer year 1.
You were.
It's pretty fun. Like, it's just, people didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He had a good time watching them.
Because you thought it was minor league baseball, but then you didn't realize, no, it's just college kids.
They just played during the summer.
They just played during the summer to keep, playing.
Which makes sense, yeah.
And you can really meet some. And what's neat is some of those players, a couple of them, like, came down the shoe to play against the Tigers. Like, you're like, oh, I remember when that guy
played. Yeah. Is everybody on Facebook that's like chimed in? Let's see what. Tim said that's hard. They're on a road trip today.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, "You can do it later in the time, but we're good. So we'll do it today." Look at Facebook and see if we haven't done our picture yet this morning. Ready?
What are we doing?
Do our picture this morning like we always do. Okay, good. I feel like we have 3.
I don't think I even asked, John, how was your Christmas? I mean, we saw you
I know,
Monday,
I
now
wanted
it's
to do that.
Friday. Right?
Just packed, man. It was just a full day. I was bouncing back and forth between like different family members' houses. It was nice, man. Really cool. How about y'all?
Got through it.
It was good.
Yeah, I was just extremely tired. But by the end of the day, I was just like, I couldn't go anymore. It was exhausting.
We had a good time. Family, there's just so many people in our family, and I work so hard during Christmas, and I love it all. But I feel like I said this earlier, like I was gonna say it this morning. All the mamas after, you just like there's a meme of like Snoop Dogg, and he's like, I just want to thank me.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I'm saying? And all these memes are going around, all these moms, and I told I played it for my husband. I said, I don't thank me for not quitting. Thank me for not giving up.
Yeah, exactly.
My 3-year-old niece at one point, she got everything, right? It's pretty much the day's for her right
it's
now.
It's for her, yeah.
She opened a gift and she had like 5 more next to her. Like, look, Ainsley, these are all for you. And she goes,
first world problems. Right?
I mean, it was
more
just,
gifts.
It was
Okay.
That's so funny.
And she's so young, she opens the gifts like one pull at a time.
Yeah,
she didn't know how to open the gifts
Yeah.
properly yet. Just
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, it's all the things everywhere. I thought we had a sports theme in our family this year with Maddox and Maya. It was a good time. So it was fun. We're leaving town and going to see family this weekend. So for New Year's.
I got nothing to do Saturday, I think, which is incredible. Empty day.
Empty day. I have a physical calendar too. I still like a physical calendar.
He's going back to high school.
Like I just prefer.
Well, I like what I tell people is like, if you're all digital, and all that, it's like, all right, what are you doing April 14th? Go ahead. What are you doing April 14th?
Yes, sir. This is John. Talk 107.3.
Like, I like to see where it is in the world.
I do too. I like to see the week ahead. I like to see the week. What I did last week. I like to see
what's going on. So.
January's slammed. I feel like already. Which we're in session right now. We won't start till
And all those days get filled.
I was planning something for Memorial Day, but they're like, don't plan too much on Memorial Day. You may be in session, but physical day days take you off right out the end of that day, usually. Last year we weren't, but we'll see.
For Gabe?
I don't think he's.
If he had a missed call, it calls back. It'll call that one? Okay.
We can talk some New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, well. Welcome back. Good morning, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mornings without Brian Haldane, the highest rated show on Talk 107.3 all year long on this last Friday. Dixon McMakin with Emily Chenervert and John on the ones and twos.
That's right. Good morning. Good morning.
We were just kind of teasing. We were here Monday. Now it's Friday. And Coach Fertitta will be coming up here in a second. He's just on a call with a recruit probably. But Emily, we had in between there Christmas. So
we did. It was great. Everyone had a good Christmas. I know you were talking about
Survived.
family. We survived. And just give a good shout out to all the moms and dads, but all the moms who make this Christmas magic. I like to say a lot, kind of exhausted. If we're in that phase where we don't know what day it is between Christmas and New Year, like what time is it? What are my responsibilities right now? We're not sure, So I kind of love it. But there's no other week like this week, I feel like, in the year between Christmas and New Year.
Yesterday I kept telling people, so what are you doing for Saturday tomorrow? And I was like, wait, tomorrow's Friday, right? The whole time.
You just don't know where you are.
What is going on?
I know.
But it's a good feeling because you're around family, you're around friends.
That's right.
A lot of moving parts, but it's also nice to just take a break, relax, and
that's right. That's right. It's a good time.
Think about the good times as well. And I think we got our caller in now.
We do.
Welcome back home to Louisiana, New Orleans' own, and the new offensive coordinator we know this isn't Matt Moscona's show, but of the Nicholls State Colonels, Coach Gabe Fertitta. Coach, good morning. How you doing, sir?
Man, good morning, Dixon. I'm doing great. It's good to be on here with you and good to be back.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. And we lost. He's back. He's still with us? Oh, okay. Just checking. And of course, Emily Chenervert is here as well, Coach. Let's see if we can figure out y'all's relation with the Fertitta. Whose grandpa's related to who?
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of Fertittas, and so I feel like we could be down the line, but I do think my mom's side's Fertitta. So I don't know. Maybe we'll figure that out one day.
Yeah, if you go to Sicily and go to Sheffield, Fertitta's like Smith. So I know they got a bunch of them.
That's the city. That's right.
That makes a lot of sense for you two. Why y'all are so sweet and nice, because y'all are from Sicily. You got the ocean there. You got the shore. You got the beaches, the good seafood. Us Balestrinos from northern Cortimilia, Italy. We got none of that. We got dead goats. Okay, it's just always. But Coach, just wanted to have you on. Thanks for the time this morning to talk about welcoming you back home, coming from Florida State. Now going to be at Nicholls State. I'm already looking to get my tickets. I've talked to the state rep, the senators down there, to make sure I can come down there to watch you like an Eagle Hawkeye to make sure that you're putting the points up for Nicholls State. But how excited are you to be back home and now leading the offense for the Colonels?
Oh man, I'm so excited to be back. It's just my first day down there, I had to go get lunch somewhere. I didn't have anywhere to go eat, and my hotel room was right next to the Rouse's. So I run over to Rouse's. They got like a hot lunch line, and it was Monday, so I got some red beans and rice, of course. And as soon as I took a bite, I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back in Louisiana. It's great to be back. And Nicholls is a great program. Coach Tommy Rybecky was responsible for recruiting us when I was at Catholic. So I've known him for a long time. He does a great job with the defense. And we actually have a lot of former players from Catholic that are still on that team there. So it's a great opportunity, and it's an hour from where my family is. It's an hour from where my wife's family is. So a lot of good things about it.
And on that recruiting trail, Coach, I don't know if y'all all set that up yet. Do you have your areas yet? Do you have your responsibilities on all that? And, if you don't, though, already, I think, part of the Florida State coaching staff had some Louisiana. Then, of course, just coaching at Catholic Kyle those years as well, the connections that are part of just in your DNA of South Louisiana.
Yeah, kind of the way we have it set up at Nicholls is instead of having an area, you kind of just split up schools where you have connections and know people, and, where it just sort of makes sense, because we have so many people on staff with South Louisiana ties, So we just kind of split it up that way, and we went over to Catholic when I very first got to Nicholls. We went over to Catholic right away to go see our two receivers there that we've signed, and it was great. It was great to see everybody over there.
Yeah, saw you back eating in District 68 that day at Phil's Oyster Bar, 4335 Perkins Road, Southdown Shopping Center. Just know that one off the top of my head.
Yeah, you do.
Emily's over here grinning. She can't wait to come down to a game as well, Coach. I mean, I don't think we truly know yet what the offense is going to look like, but we're going to put up 52 a game. What are we thinking for next season?
If we do that, we'll be doing pretty good. We had one of the top defenses in all of FCS football last year. So right now I'm just looking at trying not to mess that up, just try not to put our defense in a bad position, score enough points to, Coach Weiner always told me this: the offense's job is to score one more point than they do. And I know that sounds simple, but some games that might be 10 and some games that might be 50. But if you score one more point than they do, then you got a pretty good shot of winning.
Yeah, we just had on Ronnie Rance with the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Coach Weiner will be going into the Hall of Fame this June, so that'll be great for him. Just a nice coach. And, as us Italians here, Coach, let's get off of football for a little bit. What kind of pasta did we have for Christmas? What do we enjoy with the family this year? Maybe back home in Louisiana it was just a Creole fest. I don't know. What'd you have to eat?
It's fun. It's funny you say that because Christmas Eve we had spaghetti and meatballs with homemade meatballs, and we had chicken fettuccine Alfredo that my wife made last night. So we've been pastaing it up since we've been here.
Yeah. We had lasagna and arancini, and some obviously red gravy with Italian sausage. So I think all of us were eating pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Spaghetti meatballs here. We had a shrimp and eggplant casserole as well with some red gravy on it as well. So people are like, why are you talking to Italian food with a coach? His last name is Fertitta, okay? He's Italian. He's got it. He loves Italian food. He's going to recruit all the Italians over there. Coach, one thing I saw on y'all's roster or on the coaching staff really was Colin Guggenheim was a player I know that you coached against, and now he's on the staff as well. So he's got to be early 20s, kind of. So what's that like now, a guy that you had to draw up a scheme against, and now he's on the coaching staff with you?
Oh, when I heard that we were going to hire him to coach running backs, I was so fired up just because Colin is a competitor. We played against Coach JT and Colin at quarterback 3 years while I was at Catholic. And every single game, it was a battle. And it's funny, as a coach, you remember a lot of things about games and all that. But talking to Colin, like, that guy remembers everything. He remembers, man, the first game, y'all did this on defense. Y'all had 3 techniques. You had this over here and there. Why didn't y'all do that in the second year when we played y'all? I was expecting it to be the same defense because it was so good, and y'all didn't do that. And then, I mean, he's going to be great. He's going to do fantastic as a young coach. His career is definitely going to be one to follow, just because he's a great person, and he's a super competitive person. So it's really good to have him on staff.
Well, Coach, we're so glad that you are back in Louisiana. The website is GoColonels.com, so head over there to get your updates for the Colonels. Spring football will be coming up, and I'm looking forward to getting me some Colonels gear. Norby Schaber, I know, Colonel grad, is ready to suit us all up in some red and silvers, red and maroon. What are I need to look up probably the official colors. What
Silver.
are those, Coach?
I believe it's silver.
Silver. Okay,
Yeah.
Red and silver. We'll get down there to check out Coach Gabe Fertitta and the explosive offense of the Colonels, just trying to score one more than the other guys all season long. But don't be surprised there's a 49 or a 52 in there as well. Coach, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us this morning on the radio. And we'll be seeing you soon down in New Orleans and down in the Bayou.
All right. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Go Colonels.
Thanks.
We'll be back after this. Mornings without Brian Haldane.
Mornings without Brian Haldane. Every time when you ask Italians what you have for Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
there's going to be some.
You got to have the gravy, the meatballs, spaghetti.
I had some conversations with some of our colleagues at the Capitol. They're like, hold on. What is gravy? They're like, all I know gravy is brown. I was like, no.
You're not Italian.
You're not Italian.
Yeah.
And they went.
We didn't call it that,
They didn't. And they took they were out of town somewhere, or they went to New York or something. They sent me a picture of it, and like gravy's in the name of and they're like, you were right. And I was like, really? Really? You're gonna say you were right? Yes, I'm right. That's how it is. All right. Let me see.
Congressman said he was going to call in. He must call in a good bit.
Okay, I'm watching this on Facebook.
Wish I could find that site that I found on Monday where it had his name at the top. That was so cool.
For what?
For the web thing that they eliminated. Oh, that was the business thing they had.
Some biggest takeaways.
The LED at Brack thing. Yeah, so it was like they had all the posters up everywhere. It's like it was kind of helping LED that they're developing Bill 7 that they never did.
Yes.
That's what it was for.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of the stuff you already know. I mean, it was.
Yeah, we knew a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So that'll be happening this session, I'm assuming.
I would think either Daryl or Beth will bring that bill since they're over commerce.
Oh yeah. All right. Graves is up. Okay. Pull up.
My mom just texted, "Quit saying Merry Christmas. Like it's still the Christmas season, Mom." Christmas decorations stay up till January 8th. Yeah, it really is like you don't know what day it is right now at all.
You don't. And it's like the one time I give myself that freedom. I feel like to just be like I hit this mode, like this weird thing where I'm like, I don't know what day it is. I'm okay. I don't know what I want to do today. Like my husband's like, you're in your post Christmas because he knows how much I do. It was fun.
Welcome back, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mornings without Brian Haldane. Scheduled up this session as the green light. Look at that. Wow.
What?
I mean, he must be tuning in.
Tuning in, listening in, ready to join us.
Let's welcome in the congressman from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Catholic High School, Garrett Graves. Good morning, Congressman. How you doing,
Good
sir?
morning.
Hey, doing great. How about y'all?
We're doing well.
I mean, we just welcome back. The light pops up. We appreciate you being right on time and taking a few minutes with us. And on Monday, we had Rep. Mike Johnson on, the Louisiana rep, Baby Mike, as we call him, to talk about your Social Security Fairness Act. But, Congressman, I got to say, I think it's so cool. You go to congress.gov, you look up H.R. 82, Social Security Fairness Act of 2023. You filed this January 9th, 2023. Your name's up there, and it finally is making its way through past the Senate on the way to the president. How proud are you of this piece of legislation?
Look, this is just an awesome accomplishment. As y'all know, this has been going on for over 40 years. We've had people that have had their Social Security benefits stolen, taken, diverted, embezzled, whatever other words you want to use, to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. As you know, this has a disproportionate impact on Louisiana, and most importantly, you're talking about disincentivizing or discriminating against people that have chosen to be police officers to make our communities safer, to be firefighters to help protect our communities, to be teachers to help train the next generation. I mean, these are folks that, as we all know, really aren't paid to the level requisite or really that corresponds with the sacrifice and the work that they do. And it's just infuriating that this has been going on so long. People have, as you know, been trying to get this done for decades and decades. And this Congress, we just worked out a really deliberate strategy with our partner in crime here, Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger of Virginia, and just went step by step, becoming the most co-sponsored bill in Congress. We hosted a congressional hearing at the St. George Fire Station, had folks from Washington come down to Baton Rouge just to hear the heartbreaking stories of retirees and widows, and had another hearing in Washington, and ultimately used a very rarely used technique to get this bill to the House floor. I think it's the fourth time in 30 years this has been used to force a vote, and ultimately putting Senator Schumer in a box and getting this scheduled on the Senate floor. I think it was the second to last vote before they adjourned after midnight. Just remarkable story, remarkable track, and just really glad that we've all been able to accomplish this. And I know that you and so many others in the legislature were pushing us along the way.
Yeah, and of course, led by our state rep, Mike Johnson here. We, unanimous resolutions that we've passed every single year that we've been there as well. It's just what a testament that it shows. You filed it January of 2023. We're in session. We file a bill. It takes us, heck, we can get bills done in a week sometimes, maybe for the good or the bad. But,
Right.
I mean, almost 2 years. And I would say you teach us here, that's probably quick for y'all as well.
Well, it was quick for this legislation. As you know, Congress at the federal level is a 2-year process. So yes, we did it in January of last year, and wrapped up one of the last bills this year. The reason this takes so long is, one, yes, Congress is a bit of a mess, and it's a very, very long process. But the other thing is, I mean, look, Dixon, as you know, this bill implicates about $200 billion over the next 10 years in terms of restoring Social Security retirement payments to some of these folks that very much deserve it. And so it's a significant cost that took a lot of educating and advocacy to both Republicans and Democrats to get to this point to where we knew we could punch it through. And that certainly added to the amount of time. But look, in reality, this has been a 40-year process, not just a 2-year process, because you've had people across the Louisiana delegation for decades and decades that have fought to try and get this done, and unfortunately has taken this long to ultimately get it in the end zone.
Well, you got it there, and it's a big touchdown, especially, like you said, for Louisiana, having so many more of these people that are in that classification. And with the things we're trying to do on the state level and now on the congressional level as well, hopefully that'll get people back to Louisiana, open for business, and get them back here. And Congressman, as we close out the year, the last Friday of the year, outside of this bill, any other things that you were, I'm going to say, super proud of that you
some good
accomplished?
takeaways. I would say from your time in Congress, some things that stand out to you that know that you're proud of.
Yep.
Well, I think that it goes back to being a hard-headed kid. That when folks told, unlike you, Dixon, I know you're very cooperative as a child. Going back and just looking at things that we just found that were just unjust or things that had been stuck for a long time. And Dixon, I'll bring up one that I know you've been very passionate about. Is the Washington Street exit. I mean, why is it that we have this place where the interstate funnels to a single lane? And so, we worked with then Secretary Sean Wilson to get the funds to open up that new terrace exit, which then facilitates us getting the lanes opened up over on I-10 when you're coming across the bridge and headed eastbound. Projects like Comey and West Shore that have been stuck for 40 and 50 years, being able to get the red snapper issue wrestled from federal control and give it to the state of Louisiana, where we went from 9 days of fishing up to nearly 300, doing it with better science, more sustainable approach, being able to get us to use technology to comply with the Privacy Act, where now your member of Congress or your government agency can help you by simply giving permission over the phone instead of having to fill out a form and mail it in. I could go on and on about accomplishments, but really just trying to find those things that the community has identified as being priorities, things that don't make sense in today's time, and getting government to provide the level of service that the community truly deserves, providing the protection, the infrastructure that the community truly deserves. And it's just been an awesome 10 years. Just an honor to represent this part of South Louisiana and work with people like y'all to make this, I'll say it again, the community that we deserve, not the one that we have.
Yeah, Congressman, thank you so much. And as we finish up here, heading to that 7 o'clock hour, I think Emily and I just want to both thank you on behalf of our districts and on the people of Louisiana for everything you've done for us personally and for the people. And an all-star, and we just thank you so much. And we wish you and your family the very best in the new year. We look forward to seeing what's next for Congressman Graves, and I know I'll be hitting you up to bug you with some more ideas. And press release coming soon on that Washington Street, my friend. I got some things in the pipeline happening for us, so I'll be sure to have you out there when the bulldozers finally come our way. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best.
Hey, thank you. I hope you all have a happy new year, and thanks to both of you for your willingness to serve in the legislature, and looking forward to see the great things that y'all do. Y'all take care and have a happy new year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. That's Congressman Garrett Graves. He's the best. Mornings without Brian Haldane.
He's a good one. I could talk to. He is such great.
Just filler when we come back, everybody. What do we want to? Oh, this day in history. This day in history. 7:06. Does that work?
Let's do some this day.
Gives everybody 5 minutes to look up things for this day.
This day in history. You ready? You ready to rock and roll?
I don't even know. You ready? I don't even know what today is.
I just looked. I told you, y'all. It's you don't know. It's the 1 week where you don't know what day it is. Radio City Music Hall opens on this day in history.
One, yeah.
I like that one. I'm amazed I got that one.
Welcome back.
That's a good beat this morning. I like that.
Without Brian Haldane. John, we're going to need that in the 8 o'clock hour, too.
Right.
A little more, like pump up music.
I got you.
That's right. I like it.
I got one in mind. Well, let's go back in history and see what happened today in history. And you play the thing for that one.
All right. Let's start off here. 1968, the Apollo 8 returns to Earth. So there's that. 1981, sports news here. Wayne Gretzky becomes the fastest NHLer to get 100 points in a season, his 38th game, with 4 goals and an assist of 10-3 win over visiting Los Angeles Kings. So that happened. Also, let's see, 2004, this is really fascinating. Radiation from an explosion on the Magneteer SGR 1806 reaches Earth. It is the brightest extrasolar event known to have witnessed on the planet.
Interesting.
It's fascinating, right? I mean, it's insane.
Space information, I like it.
And speaking of space, in 2012, NASA unveils plans to capture a 500-ton asteroid in 2025. I wonder if that's still on the books here.
Interesting.
I know, very strange, right?
We'll have to ask him.
You'd ask
So we're
him.
not going to send
We'll
Bruce
see.
Willis or Ben Affleck.
I was just about to say
Yeah.
that's the movie that came to my mind.
Yeah.
You got
So do you
him.
have anything? Well, I have a fun one. I feel like so.
Yeah.
Radio City Music Hall opens on this day. I actually didn't grab the year
okay.
years ago, but on this day it was opened. And if you haven't seen a show there, it's pretty phenomenal. I had mentioned I'd seen the Rockettes there years ago, a couple years back. It's a wonderful show, beautiful place to go. Would you have anything,
That
Dixon?
was in 1932 when they opened that up
1932.
one. I got
Okay.
1801 after conquering Italy. Cannot believe that anyone would conquer the Italians. How rude of him. The little short guy, Napoleon, established the Republic of Lucia. But how dare you come after
dare
us
you.
Italians? I mean, we have Italians on the show today. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, McMakin. Real Italian, Dixon. Real Italian. My mother's maiden name.
I know. That's what my mom said too. As well.
Get out of here. How about any birthdays today, John? What do you got?
Timothy Chalamet, actor. Let's see, who else we got? Haley Williams, another one from the band Paramore. Walker Hayes, country singer. Brock Purdy here. Let's see, who else we got? Bill Goldberg, WWE wrestler. Let's see, actor John Amos as well today.
Okay.
Anybody on your end?
You said all the ones that I had written down.
Oh, man. Yeah, those were in the top for sure. What about deaths here? We got Carrie Fisher in 2016.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
did read about that one. I read that one, yeah.
As far as other notable deaths, I don't really have anybody. Brian and I kind of go back and forth about this a lot because there are a lot of, not to say they were insignificant, just they weren't as notable.
Well, I got
deaths
two for
today.
you. He was
Who you
43
got?
when he died today. Stephen F. Austin, of course,
Oh, okay.
of the great
not-
state of Texas,
Yeah.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
And then Gustav Eiffel. I think you might know what he created. It's called the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
He died
Yeah.
at 91. So,
Wow.
Eiffel, 91.
Interesting.
Been to both those places.
Nice. As far as national days go here, we got National Make Cutout Snowflakes Day. We
Okay.
have Visit the Zoo Day today as well.
Visit the Zoo Day.
National
Okay.
Fruitcake Day as well. So, yeah.
I'm not sure about the National Fruitcake
Right.
Day.
And that's at the top. That's actually the
Really?
first one. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
God.
You know,
National
you should-
days. You have to love it.
Almost have who created that national day, so then you
Right.
could complain to that person.
Right.
Like, who thought we needed a National Fruitcake Day? Who is that person? How did they get that one through the system?
Right. Who
of-
voted on it?
Who voted on it?
Yeah.
Who
I don't
needs to be
know.
recalled? You know, I mean,
I mean, the snowflake one.
I know, right?
Was it a bunch of kids that were like, "We love doing
Yeah.
this. This is our
that's
day."
probably in homeroom. They just had leftover paper, and they're like, "Here's some scissors.
Here's something
Take
for you.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Cut some snowflakes up, then
Then
take a
s-
nap."
And
Yeah.
someone made a day out of it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's funny, these national days, it's the things that garner that attention like that. Like, it's Snowflake Day.
Makes you
TV
wonder,
remote
what would
day.
your national day be if you could pick a day? You know, like what's the thing that would? I know it's on the spot. It's just I randomly thought about that. Right, if there's a day, you know, I don't know. Is there a?
Just because I have it in front of me, I would make a national 24J16 Styrofoam Cup Day. People that know me, they know I always got my 24J16s with me. I think that should be a day where we all celebrate the greatest Styrofoam cup that is out there in existence. It's the Dart 24J16.
I'm writing this down.
I like how you have it. Yeah,
that's an unpaid spokesman right there. But people that know me
Who knows the type of cup?
Yeah,
Who does this?
24 is your ounces.
Okay.
J16 is your brand.
Okay.
For those, so there's a 20J16, a 16J16. There's all sorts of.
It has a good kind of ledge
great
right
lip
there.
There's
on
an
there.
H level. There's a C as well.
Wow.
So now, anytime you pick up your cup, you look under it, and I want you to think a national 24J16 day. Not today, but someday we're gonna.
That would be his day. That would be
look
your
into
day.
that. Can we write bills to make days in Louisiana?
I don't know.
Dear Greg Riley, if you're tuning in right now,
is this possible?
Is this possible?
Can you help me out? Is this
Most people know the makes and model cars, guitars, for instruments or anything.
Would you have a day?
Styrofoam cups.
Yep.
I know.
Yep. There you go.
National Styrofoam Cup Day.
What about you, Em? What
I don't know. I mean, maybe I think because we've been talking so much about food and like what we love. I mean, there may be a National Lasagna Day. There could be.
Oh, yeah.
There should be.
Meatball Day.
I think there should be one,
for sure.
Where everyone has to eat lasagna, or something. That obviously is one of my favorites.
Don't tell you I'm a fat kid, but I am a fat kid. National Meatball Day is actually March 9th. I already know it. I think John and them said it one time, and I put it in my phone. Like, I'm going to eat a meatball. Went straight to the Julio's and crushed it. We're going to keep crushing mornings without Brian Haldane. When we come back, we got some great guests coming up. Zach Kilshaw to talk about Mayor Sid Edwards' inauguration next Thursday. When we come back, Talk 107.3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all said that on the radio, and I marked it, and I was like, that one's awesome.
What?
National Meatball.
That's pretty great.
March 9th. Oh, it's in here. See if I put any other ones in here. Usually what I do, National Pizza Day is February 9th. That one is also in my phone. National Seersucker Day, June 11th. Pasta Day. I have all the Italian foods. I need to send you. I'm going to get you that number right now, sir. I like how that guy, when they yells a radio spot, when it's like, talk about politics, this, that, and the guy is like, please don't talk about politics.
Oh, no. He does want to take it off?
Yeah, he does. Every time it comes up, he's literally like...
Same thing, right? Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have any control over it.
I need to find my legislative laptop. That thing I sent you for next Thursday. I need to send that out to everybody. Those invites, yeah.
Is it super formal? Is it kind of like a?
It's like ours.
Suit?
It's like ours, yeah.
Just suits and just like the ones in the state. And the party will be more cocktail vibe or.
Kilshaw.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right, not a problem. Look, we're going to have you up here in about 2 minutes.
Moving right along. Moving right along.
Oh, my bad. Oh, that's why his name's so messed up.
I need to get Zach's number.
I thought it was Zach Kilshaw, right?
It is.
Okay.
That's Yep.
Does he do a lot of like events like that? Is it kind of? I don't know. I don't think I know. Zach.
No, so that that's funny. That's how I put him in there because his other brothers and stuff. That's how I separate them. Sorry,
That's how you separate
the different
Okay.
family members. Sometimes, like I put in like what I call them.
Yeah. What you call him?
Good morning again, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, filling in for Brian Haldane. So it's the Mornings Without Brian Haldane show. Dixon McMakin and Emily Chenervert coming up in the 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock hour. We got 6 guests coming in. It's going to be just lightning fast, great show. Zach Kilshaw's about to come on to talk about Mayor-elect Sid Edwards' inauguration next Thursday. Secretary of State Nancy Landry to talk about our elections that we had this year. Big John Ilg, my mentor in the legislature, to talk about, who knows, Jesuit, Catholic high football, probably. Nathan Russ, Baton Rouge School Board. The governor, Jeff Landry, to come on and talk about his year. Then we're going to close it out with our Attorney General, Liz Murrell, as well. So, Emily, great job. Great lineup.
Great lineup.
Final Friday. We got to finish strong.
Final Friday of the year.
You gotta make sure those ratings stay so high. Mornings without Brian Haldane. So let's bring on now Zach Kilshaw to talk about Mayor-elect Sid Edwards and all the stuff that is going down in just 6 days here in Baton Rouge, January 2nd at the Centralplex. And Kilshaw, good morning to you, sir. How you doing?
Representative McMakin, it's a pleasure. Representative Chenervert, it's also a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on.
Why do you call her Rep Chenervert and I don't get the?
You both got representative.
Didn't hear that part of it. So no, I've known Zach for quite a. That's always fun, to have the like. You're supposed to be a rep when you're at the building, but then you're outside the building.
Then you're outside, everybody just knows you as Dixon.
Back to dum dum, as they call me. So,
that's
but Zach, we want to have you on so we can share some information with the people of Baton Rouge around this area. What's going to happen next Thursday? Where are we going to have it? The times, the place. So fill people in and how they can find more information on everything.
Sure, perfect. So we're going to be having the Mayor-elect inauguration at the River Center Theater for the Performing Arts. It's going to be on Thursday, January 2nd, starting at 5 p.m. Dress is going to be business casual. Parking will be provided at the River Center parking garage. And directly following the Mayor-elect Edwards' inauguration is going to be a wonderful party that we're going to be throwing at Tiger Stadium South Stadium Club. It's going to be located at Gate 20. You can park at Lot 401. And for all RSVP, please email us at info@winebr.la. Or you could visit winebr.la, navigate to the inauguration page, and fill out our form there as well.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing on this one. So Thursday, of course, it starts at 5 o'clock, but it's going to be in the theater, so we want to make sure people get there early, get a parking spot in the Raising Cane's River Center, downtown Baton Rouge, 5 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, January 2nd. And that website, of course, is winebr.la. Is that correct, Zach?
Yes, sir. winebr.la.
And then any emails that you want to send in, go to info, I-N-F-O, at winebr.la. So, Zach, one thing just want to talk about is, a lot of people think that someone wins and they just get elected and then they get sworn in and there's no work going on behind the scenes. But I know you and several others have really been working since Election Day to pull this off. And I think, great spots for both of those to represent downtown and then to head to Tiger Stadium to kind of have that view of the city. You can look one way into the stadium. You'll see downtown. You look through the windows the other way and you see South Baton Rouge as well. It's just I think a perfect little, not even in my district, but I'm saying it's just a great spot for both events. How did y'all come about picking those venues?
Well, there was a lot of thought that went into it. It was really important for Mayor-elect Edwards and his family to feel that the city of Baton Rouge was included in their special day. And so, we weighed out all the options, and that was, top of our list. And I'm really glad we were able to get that.
So, of course, on the second part of the evening at Tiger Stadium, the South Club, so that's the newest section of our stadium that was built. It's listed on y'all's site there from 6:30 to 9, or really once kind of the ceremony is finished at the theater. And you once again, but everyone needs to RSVP, Zach, or can they just show up? What's the preference there?
We would prefer that you RSVP. If you do not have time, obviously showing up is fine, and we can check you in as soon as you go up the elevator. But it would be preferable to RSVP to, again, at info@winebr.la.
And the mayor will be there. Lots of guests will be there. In a day to celebrate Baton Rouge and everything that's happening, the transition teams are meeting. We actually had the mayor on Monday on our show, and I know that the coach is excited. The coach mayor, he's not always. Every time I see him now, I keep asking him, have you gotten any sleep? He says no. We keep talking about Italians today. He's getting some Italian bags under those eyes right now. Just the trademark of us Italians. Zach, have you and your team gotten any sleep before this event is off? I know we're working on getting some items ordered, and this holiday season, it's not the easiest to have things shipped and get here on time.
So no, we haven't been getting very much sleep, but it's it's all been it's all been a collective effort just to get this inauguration off the ground, and I know that we're all proud of being on this team and representing the future of East Baton Rouge Parish.
And of course, too, another thing, Zach, I've gotten a couple questions from people. What will the cost be to attend the theater event or to attend the South Stadium Club event?
Okay, so thank you for asking that, Representative McMakin.
You're welcome.
We've kind of gone back and forth on this. The admission is going to be free moving forward. So even on the website right now, it's listed at $25. That'll be changed later today. So you just go to you navigate to the inauguration page on winebr.la. You go down to where it says General Admission Package and reserve your package. Once you click over, there will be a form for you to fill, and we'd like you to list what events you'll be attending, if it's just one or the other or both.
It's super easy. Go to the website. At the very top, look for the gold box. It says inauguration right there. Great website. Has all the details. I mean, you can't miss it. Head on down. And really the easiest thing, I would think, just RSVP, email in. I know you and several others all have access to that email. I've emailed something in. I got several responses from different people. So they're on top of it, checking it all out. But, of course, there are donor packages as well that if you wanted to help support the event, support the incoming administration, there's ways to do that as well. Correct, Zach?
Yes, you can. So we do have some pre-done packages that give you some incentives, like 6 VIP tickets or 4 VIP tickets. If you want to donate any monetary amount to the inaugural events, all you have to do is just send us an email at info@winebr.la, or you can navigate to our winebr.la website and just fill out that simple form that's on the homepage, or you can go and click over to the inauguration page and click reserve your package and then fill out that form there, and any monetary donation we will make sure counts towards you.
Yeah, so one way or the other, you'll be credited with the account going forward and doing all that stuff. And, Emily and I, we just got elected last year. We went to the governor's inauguration. It was so great for the community to be there. We were in the Centroplex for the after party, and really want to encourage people to come that evening, celebrate. It's on a Thursday night. I don't want to mention too much, Zach, but there will be some food and beverage as well. So it's not just a party. I know we're going to have a musician there that may or may not have hosted this radio show yesterday on the guitar, playing his tune. So just a really great event. And what about, Zach, something, honestly, I don't know, 21 and older, or can we have 18-year-olds, children there? What's the vibe of children and young people coming?
So as of right now, we're still listing it as 18 and older.
Okay.
So, we will be able to distinguish between 18 and 21-year-olds at the front desk. There will be an open bar, and I don't want to give anything away, Dixon, but I agree. If you were listening to Talk 107 yesterday, there might be a special guest that arrives later in the evening and graces us with his voice. So
Elvis is coming back? Wait, what? Oh,
it's possible.
Man, wouldn't that
it's
be
possible?
awesome?
Aren't you excited? I know, right, Dixon? You're
For Elvis or the inauguration? Which one?
For both.
For both. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
For both.
Absolutely. Zach and his team have been working hard.
Yes.
I know some people have been asking me, like, hey, when are we getting the information? When's it going down? I was like, hey, guys, we got to find the place. We got to get this stuff. And, Zach, kind of a crunch time. Governor Landry, we'll have him on later. But, Governor had about 3 months to plan all of his stuff. And y'all are working just on literally a few weeks and days here, Zach, to pull this one off and to do it well, to do it justice for an incoming mayor and a new administration coming in as well.
Zach, a question for you. Like when you're planning a lot of this and, in talking to the mayor on the show, he talked about this sense of excitement. I've followed and seen he's done some community events and with so many people in a room. What's it been like for you as you're planning this and working through some of the details among the team and just among what you feel in the community as you're prepping for next week?
Well, it's first off, it's been an honor to work within the transition team in this capacity. You have really great people behind the scenes. Bud Corson has run many inaugurations for many mayors and for many governors. And then you have, Sarah Bennett, who's just a phenomenal fundraiser. And so, we've just been able to really, keep a concerted group. So, we had an expedited timeline. We knew it was going to be an expedited timeline. We've met every single day or talked in some capacity and got it over the line. So, really a collective effort, but a team of well experienced members.
Even working on Christmas Eve and Christmas, I know for a fact, and the day after Christmas as well, was part of some communications as well. And we were kind of teasing each other about, did you ever think you'd be on a phone call Christmas Eve or Christmas Day talking about cups, napkins, facilities, and things like that, not outside of maybe a sporting event? Definitely not something that was on my bingo card, Zach, but once again, honored to be a part of it and to try to make it a worthy event for our incoming mayor.
Absolutely. Completely agree with you.
So what are you most excited to, Zach, on January 3rd when it's over?
I'm going to be excited to get more than maybe 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep. That'll be wonderful.
Some rest.
I'm going to be really excited just to look forward to this administration and see the change that Mayor-elect Sid Edwards is going to bring to East Baton Rouge Parish, most of all.
Yeah, well, we can already have Brian Haldane book you for that 6:06 slot on January 3rd if you would like. We can definitely make that happen. John, you want to go ahead and just Zach Kilshaw, KILSHAW, 6:06.
First up.
January 3rd.
January 3rd.
All right.
Bright and early. I think you'd enjoy
Dixon,
that.
Live
such
in
a
studio.
true friend. Thank you for
person.
thinking of my interest.
Just
He's
walk
not,
here.
he's not speaking on this. He doesn't
Yeah.
think he likes it.
Did we lose Zach? Did we lose you there? Did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
So once again, the main thing for everybody at this point, head to the website winebr.la. It's on there on the site. Then, of course, from any of your emails as well, you're able to email in at info@winebr.la for next Thursday. It is here. It's going to be here before you know it, January 2nd, 2024. We're in 4 or 5. We're in 5, but it's 5. Wow, that got me. I was like,
got you.
wait, what? Oh, yeah, 25. So really after New Year's, this is our first event to kick off the new year as well.
The new year. It's an exciting event to go to for that.
5 o'clock, Raising Cane's River Center Theater. Then after that, we'll all head down to Tiger Stadium. Hey, Zach, another question for I know to get out to the people. Transportation from the theater to Tiger Stadium will be done how?
So it's going to be left for you to navigate from the inauguration to the after party at the South Stadium Club. So yeah, it's going to be taking your own vehicle.
Yeah. So of course, if you are engaging in an adult beverage, we would encourage everyone drive safely, get a ride share, get a driver, whatever you can do as well. But from the parking garages, from the Raising Cane's River Center down to Tiger Stadium, you're looking at maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles, right down Nicholson. Right there, you park in that RV lot where you see all the RVs on a football game day. You head on over to gate 20. You'll head up the elevator, and the party is currently listed to go from 6:30 to 9-ish, give or take, but you never know if we're having a good time. I don't think they're going to kick us out right at 9 o'clock, so we can enjoy it. He's Zach Kilshaw. And, Zach, we thank you so much. Thank you for your hard work. Have a great weekend, and we're going to see you Thursday. Info at winebr.la. Thanks, Zach, for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll be back mornings without Brian Haldane.
We'll be back. I feel like a lot of people are going to attend. I feel like it's going to be a very well-attended event.
Well, and those things I sent, they mailed all that out. I'll just worry about the mail.
Oh, yeah. So you helped with their cups, with your cup?
I didn't get those are those little ones. Like, you got to have something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, wait and see who's going to announce who they're running for St. Louis mayor.
When are they doing it? That's the election, right? But no one's announced yet. Like,
I have some ideas. Oh, remember this?
Mislabeling of seafood has been a big problem in Louisiana. A hunter near Baton Rouge is recovering after being accidentally shot by another hunter. Lieutenant Jared Riddle with the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries says the hunters were hunting at the same time on a small piece of property in Zachary. They both had permission to be on, but unaware of each other's presence. It looks like the two subjects did not communicate to each other, didn't know the other was back there hunting, and both subjects were hunting from the ground. Neither subject had any hunting going on. One of the hunters shot, the other was buckshot from a 20-gauge shotgun.
God.
Louisiana will be featured in the Tournament of Roses parade in Pasadena, California.
All right.
Louisiana tourism with a float called Louisiana Saturday
So,
Night.
Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser says he's excited to return to the Golden State for this year's Best Day Ever Parade of Roses.
what did you do?
End of year, this election, how it went. Okay.
Over 100 Louisianians traveled to the
Stop
parade.
yawning.
Nungesser says it's a great investment for the state with millions of people watching.
It reaches billions of viewers. We get 20 to 40 million return on our investment in media coverage every year.
I'm Colleen Crane.
Newly released numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau show Louisiana's population grew this year for the first time since 2020. Not a huge increase, as Louisiana's population grew by just under 10,000. Talk 107.3 Baton Rouge.
Now a Talk 107.3 traffic update from the Shawbills Tire and Auto Service Traffic Center. At Shawbills, you can get up to $118 in savings when you buy a set of 4 new select tires from top brands. This offer is for a limited time, and it's only at Shawbills.
We're still watching a serious accident spot on the I-110 south.
So when they made that thing, I was like, we've got to put that on Cubs and Koozies to have the event. We got to,
Yeah. You know,
just to
for
have.
sure. Who's doing like the details of Cornish from the He's not doing oil and stuff. What's he doing?
For,
For this, for this event. Like, who's ordering the cups?
so like, I just did it through my guy in Lafayette, and they're just going to pay me. I ordered 2,000 of those, which I think is too much, but I was like, but you know how much? Yes.
No, I like Lucas. Those are good cups.
That Lafayette does that. She does mine too.
Who in Lafayette does it?
His name's Ronnie Mata. He's just in a little shop over there, but like
You just know him for a long time.
so yeah, like at DC Mardi Gras, they'll ship a box up there for 500, and every day I just put a sleeve out.
That's hilarious.
So by the end of it, everyone's like, dude, where are all these cups coming from?
So is he shipping stuff
He just did it for me to ship the box. It's easier to ship the whole box up there.
That's
And then
so
And then I
awesome.
don't. And last year I tried to bring them back, like when they're in your bag, they get squished.
Yeah.
So I was like, who cares? That's why I started. Because it's 25 sleeves of 25. Is that right? That's 100? No, 25 sleeves of 20? There you go.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Landry. This is John with Talk 107.3. Looking to have you on here with Dixon and McMakin and Chenervert. Doing well, doing well. And we'll have you appear on
I was there for the Trump still seal when we voted, electors voted. Secretary Landry.
Oh, cool.
It was fun. I've never done it before. I actually did not know that everybody at the same time across the United States at 12 o'clock on Monday voted. Did not know that. Every state in the United States will do it at the same time. Give and take an hour based on your time zone. It's pretty interesting.
I'm going to do that one up there since he's doing that show at the Hilton.
He always does it up there, doesn't he? Yeah. Yep, we'll be there. But we're leaving on. We have to leave on Saturday. That DC Direct, that was awesome. From Baton
I need
Rouge.
to book that flight.
Look, there were still decent prices last night.
See, we were going to fly to New Orleans direct.
Well, the DC, we're just not gonna. We want to go to the inauguration. Shane and I are just gonna have to go. Two of us for a whole week. But I have to come back Saturday because I leave again on Monday morning super early, and I don't do it for kids.
What day is that?
The 19th. We're leaving.
26.
We're leaving the 19th. Well, I don't know what's available now. Since we're going the 19th, it worked.
There's no nonstop. Welcome back. Good morning, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin, and Emily Chenervert
That's right.
here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Holding down the fort on this last Friday of 2024.
Can you believe that 2025? It is right around the corner.
Oh, I just messed up the date, so no, I
You
can't
did. You looked
actually,
down. You're like, "Are we
yeah.
in 2025?"
Yeah, it was very cool. I thought the inauguration invite was wrong. I was like, oh,
Wait a
boy.
minute.
They mailed those out. We're going to have to get those fixed.
Get
But
those fixed.
a lady who does not mess things up. She just does an absolutely fantastic job. Just rated one of the top election states in the country. Our very own Secretary of State, Nancy Landry, joins us now. Miss Secretary, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Morning, Dixon and Emily.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for having me on today.
Well, thanks for joining us. And we're really excited here, too, to have you on with the governor and the attorney general, because a lot of people forget, even though that really y'all have been in politics a long time, we're all rookies to our roles. So we get to kind of reflect
That's right.
on the first year on the job, how it went, kind of some of your biggest accomplishments, and what you're looking forward to 2025.
Well, sure. If you remember when I was campaigning, I told everyone we needed someone who would be able to hit the ground running. And I was absolutely right. I mean, we started the year with a special session, and in that special session, we had the closed party primary bill. So I really did hit the ground running, and it's been a great first year. We had the very important presidential election in the fall. We had the highest in-person early voting period in state history and the highest single-day in-person early voting day at 103,000. So we broke all kinds of records. We also had the quickest transmission of results for a presidential election. Our results were in less than 3 hours. And we also passed a great package of legislative bills. Like we had 11 bills that y'all passed to help us clean up our voter rolls and close loopholes about ballot harvesting and provide uniformity across the state on how we tally votes across the state. But my main goal in 2025 now is to get us a new voting system. So I'll be jumping right in working on that.
We know you're going to do a great job as that as well. And I remember that too on the campaign trail, right? Experience in that office. And I think it showed when, you would testify, you knew all the information of all the things we had to do. And it didn't help that we put a little more pressure on you, I would say, in doing some of those laws, but also knowing being in that office to clean up in those 11 bills. And I'd have to look at the voting record. I'm pretty sure Emily and I would have gone 11 for 11 on those for sure. In your office, Miss Catherine as well, helping us out with the information. But I love that about you, Secretary, is that, you're always looking to make it better, not stay still, but to make sure Louisiana is always at the top when it comes to our rankings, which are usually the highest when it comes to our election integrity and the results that we have.
Absolutely. I mean, we're ranked in the top 10 in the nation for election integrity, but I always think there's room for improvement, like you said, and I want us to be number one. So I'm going to keep working for us to become number one, and we'll have a few bills this legislative session. It won't be as ambitious because, as you know, it's a fiscal year, so y'all can only have 5 bills each that aren't fiscally related, and so we'll have to pare back a little bit this year, but we will still have a few bills to strengthen our elections again, and we're going to start education efforts to inform voters about the changes with the closed party primaries, and we hope to craft and release an RFP this year, a request for proposals for our new voting system.
Yeah, and that'll be great. I'm pretty sure I was told by somebody that some of the machines we use, correct me if I'm wrong, are over 20 years old. Is that correct?
They're 30 years old,
30, okay.
And they were phased in rollout, so some of them are older than others, but some of them are older than 30 years old. I have staffers that are younger than our machines, and so they need to be replaced. We can't even get the parts for them anymore, and that's putting us in a precarious situation when they break down, because they are mechanical and they do break down. We can't get the parts. We have to cannibalize other machines to get the parts. And so it's gotten to a point now where it's urgent that we get a new system.
Well, Secretary.
And that new system will have a paper component, as you know, because that's part of the new law. We'll have a paper component so that you can verify the results of the machine with that paper record.
Well, Secretary, that's some good information. I know in talking about the new voting system, what would that process look like for someone listening? I know that this is a very important issue to so many people, and obviously we're ranked high in that process. What is that going to look like as you kind of dive into that and your staff on how to find kind of the best voting system for the state?
Well, there's all kinds of steps we have to take in following the procurement law, but basically we have to define what sort of system we want. We've already had many meetings of the Voting System Commission, and they made a recommendation on what kind of system to get, and so we will be crafting a proposal, specifying the details of that system, and then when we release that to the Division of Administration, they'll release it to the public, and vendors will then bid on the proposals, and there'll be a committee to grade the proposals, and that's all spelled out in the law, and then an award is made, and then we'll start phasing it in. Once we get an award in place and we have a new system chosen, we'll start phasing it in. It'll take about 3 years to roll it out to every voter.
Wow. I didn't know it was going to take 3 years. That's it's neat to hear, too, the process, and I know that was before you got put into office, but they put a lot of checks and balances in there where it's not, even though I personally would trust Secretary Nancy Landry just to make the pick for me, but they kind of put some checks and balances in, so when it finally does get done, we know that it's gone through a vetting of lots of people, and that kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of torn there. Some of it's the bureaucracy of government that I hate, but then also you do have the opportunity for the public and everyone to have a say and have a look and to make sure that we're doing the best thing for Louisiana, which is what we always try to do in our roles.
Right. We have a lot of transparency. The downside is that it has added years to the process, and so it's taken us a long time to get a new system. But we did have all those voting system commission meetings where the public could come and testify and weigh in on what kind of system they wanted to see. And then we have a requirement that there's legislative approval of the award, both with the House of Governmental Affairs and Senate and Governmental Affairs committees and the Joint Budget Committee. So there's plenty of oversight, both by the public and the legislature. And once, we get to that point where we get a new system, I think everybody can feel really comfortable that it's been a very transparent process.
I'll ask you something on the elections here, kind of a unique twist. I think one of the questions I get the most about elections, and this is not about the machines, the integrity, all that stuff, it's the sticker. This sticker has come in. This is, wow. I mean, people want to know, how is it selected, how it's done. Give us a little bit behind the curtains
Great
here.
question.
It's amazing how many questions I get about who picks the sticker, how's the sticker work, they love the sticker. So, Secretary, please, if you could maybe unveil that a little bit of will we get a new sticker in March? Is there a new sticker? What's the sticker process like?
We'll continue to use the current sticker for the next couple of elections. There is a process involved in choosing the sticker. We were one of the first states, or if not the first state, to choose a state artist to design our sticker. And so we've gotten a lot of attention nationwide because of our artistic stickers that we honor a state artist and allow them to design it. And I think the two that got the most attention this year was ours, that was designed by Academy Award-winning children's author and artist and animator Bill Joyce out of Shreveport. And then the other one was one designed by, I think, an elementary school kid that was a werewolf in Michigan. Those two got the most attention in the nation. But I love our sticker this year. It's a festive crawfish. His name is Mark DeBallet, and he was really helpful in getting people excited to go to the polls and to vote this year.
And I love that too. I remember growing up out on Highland Road. My mom would vote. We'd go to the machines. That was back when you pulled the lever. But I could just imagine little young Dixon getting a sticker from his mom to vote, and then that encourages those young people in the future to want to be part of the process, which is just so great for our state.
It is. I will say this, and my children have gone and they stand there and vote with me. We talk about the process. They put a sticker on. They're little. They cannot vote yet, but they always like to grab one and put it on, and we vote as a family. So I would say you're right. It is exciting for them. So
it is. It's a great way to teach kids about their civic duty to vote. So kids who vote with their parents tend to grow up and be adults who vote and take that obligation seriously.
So breaking news here first on Mornings Without Brian Haldane. The March election will be the same sticker at this point.
Same sticker.
That's it.
Stickers at secretarystate.com. No, that's not a website.
It's not. Don't go there.
I would love to see the emails she would get on that one.
I know.
Secretary Landry, we just thank you so much for joining us this morning as we're all rookies together. And I think we had a pretty successful first year, and we're looking forward to the next many years together and keeping our state moving forward. And we just thank you for all that you're doing for our state and your leadership. And we hope you have a happy new year, and we'll see you soon. I know I'll be seeing you in the district soon as well, because she's a great
you're my
District
representative.
68 resident. So a lot of pressure when the Secretary of State lives in your district. Whew, not easy,
well,
but try to.
Thank you, and congratulations to you too. Y'all had a wonderful legislative session. It really is a new day in Louisiana, and it's great to see things happening at the legislature like we've seen. And I look forward to working with you two again for the next few years as well.
Excellent. She's our Secretary of State, Nancy Landry, doing a great job. We thank you for joining us this morning on Mornings Without Brian Haldane. Thank you so much, Secretary. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
You too.
You too.
Just
Bye-bye.
fantastic, and man, just awesome. Just
I know we've just some great leadership, and It's really fascinating to hear about the process. That's why I asked about it.
Yeah.
Because people hear about that. It matters so much. And then the paper that back up to that, which is a big deal. So I'm looking forward to see what happens through that process.
And the transparency of it all. So it'll be great for Louisiana. We'll be back after this. Mornings without Brian Haldane. $299. That's not bad.
Out of New Orleans, direct?
Land 403 on Wednesday, and then we leave 5:35 p.m. on Sunday. We did that last year. We woke up. We went to all the monuments and stuff. Like
That Sunday morning?
whenever we woke up.
Yeah.
So I flew back year one like at 8. That was a terrible idea.
Oh, after that night. God, no. I would not. If we were gonna if we could stay till through Saturday, then I would be, we'd be flying out later. I just can't be gone for like almost 2 weeks from my babies. We're gonna do some of that on Tuesday. And when do y'all come in Wednesday?
Yeah, because we had that dinner at Jody, and then we're going to do a brunch on Thursday that's going to compete with your women's thing.
We're
But
I'm
I
taking
think,
both.
but I think
It'll be fun.
I've been talking to everybody. It's like Dixon, first year you're doing it, right? Last year I wasn't. They're like that's a good start.
Great
for an
start.
event.
Great.
And then if we need to, because the Capitol people were telling me like the more y'all could do near the Capitol, the better. Because getting to the Hilton for us is tough.
Right.
And so they're like, man, if you did a brunch over there or something over there, and then we even talked about doing a late night tour after Jody's thing.
Late night tour would be awesome.
But Garrett was the best at that. Still gonna try. Like, man, I would love to be drunk with just go on tour.
Who else does a good one? Do we know?
He was really the only one. But we're gonna still ask them all. Keen and Brack are working on that.
Was it?
Big John is this one, yes sir.
And is it because he just knew the history of it, like just he took the time to understand it all?
I think like me a little bit, like just dorked it up a little bit too, like when she got up there.
Yeah.
And can do it. I think that's think about that part of it.
No, I agree. I understand. Is that sad though, right? Is it sad that we have to say that? But I'd heard he'd get great tours. The question now is, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to navigate the first few nights up there, just because when we decided to go, it was like so booked for inauguration. So that's the hard part. Which we may just stay in Arlington the first 2 nights and then go to our hotel, just because people are like, we're gonna be there so long. It's gonna be cold though.
Is it? Do we know?
I mean, it usually is, huh?
Last year,
Oh, that's right, because it was later.
I barely even wore my jacket sometimes.
I don't like. Shane's not a fan of the cold.
The only thing I'm excited for is Bess brought me this really good overcoat that I didn't even get to wear last year.
Right. So now you can.
I don't mind.
You basically look like the Godfather in it. Let's just be honest. A little bit.
It's a tighter fit one than that one.
Okay.
I used to have one of those, but it was massive. Dad gave it to me. It was like a 48 long.
You're like, what is this? All right. This will be fun. This next one.
I heard it.
I'm gonna look at some stuff for Nathan.
The address, just in case if you call back out, I know. Like, hey.
Do I need to send Nathan?
Yes.
See, that was a good one with Nancy because that was a longer segment. That's so nice. Like she can get all the full info.
Oh yeah.
She said
that's about my pay grade, man. But
I'm staying far away from that. Her asking what he's about a Gator attack. It's a good one. I'm super pumped about Gator. I've been telling everybody about Gator in my district because they're all like, we paid They all pay for private school. 70% pay for private school.
I thought I had a 30-day forecast on this thing.
He's been pretty passionate about the foster care too. I was going to ask him about that. Because I'll be honest, I've kind of checked out this week with kids and life and family. I've just been.
January 22nd in D.C., the average is 44 degrees.
It's not too bad, I guess.
Wind pending.
This is a big story.
Welcome back, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mornings without Brian Haldane. A few minutes to fill in here before we get to the 8 o'clock hour. And no better way to fill in some time than with my legislative mentor, Big John.
Big John.
Big. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you two guys doing? I was listening to the last segment with Secretary Landry with you guys. Y'all handle yourselves pretty well on the radio. I'm impressed.
Well, as you have told me
that.
many a times, I have a face for Radio Biggs. I appreciate your support in my radio endeavors.
I'm not going to argue that. I think that's why you and I sit in the back row.
Oh, it's good stuff.
So for those listening in, the Republican delegation, we all have mentors and mentees. Big John is mine. He's a 2L, second term in the legislature. Emily, who's yours? Who do you have?
Representative Lori Schlegel.
Yeah, Lori
She's
Schlegel.
wonderful.
So we both have
Another great representative from Jefferson.
She is great. That's right.
We both got that Jefferson kind of delegation looking over us, watching out for us, and really making sure that we don't mess up too bad. Like if you wrote a bill to kick people out of the Capitol, like they probably shouldn't let you do those kind of bills. But sometimes the baby bird just jumps out of the nest a little too soon before Papa Big can capture him.
Well, sometimes you got to let them make their own mistakes, and so we did, and you learn from your mistakes. I think that legislator learned from his, but you can all laugh about it in the end, and you learn and you get better. And I think you and the entire freshman class have done a wonderful job, and you guys came in with extremely busy the first year. I know some of the new legislators didn't know how much time they spent this year. That is not normal what we did this year. I mean, over half the year spent in Baton Rouge is a lot.
And, of course, Big, you just finished your 5th year serving the legislature. So, of course, a uniquely different style now with Governor Jeff Landry above us, who will be coming on in a few minutes as well. But what was the difference like for you this year going from the John Bell governorship to the Jeff Landry governorship?
The battles that were fought before, and you were trying to make sure you if you needed 70 votes to get something passed, you had to make sure everybody was at an override. We didn't have an override session. That's a big difference right there. Is we've had numerous override sessions with Governor Woods, and we didn't have to have that. We had somebody that was on the same page as any of our colleagues, and really worked. We had a lot of bipartisan support in a lot of things we did. It wasn't strictly party lines this year, and truthfully, I think that's the way you get good things done, good legislation done. And it was enjoyable, but it was time consuming. I know for all our colleagues that live outside the Baton Rouge area, I'm lucky enough to only live an hour and 15 minutes away. It's hard coming back and forth to Baton Rouge as often as we did, especially if you have family. So I hope people can appreciate what the legislators do and being up there so much this year. But we needed to do it. We needed to do what we did and move the state forward, and I think we did so.
Well, we appreciate you, Big, just filling in a couple minutes for us here as we head to the 8 o'clock hour. When Emily and I know we appreciate your support, Lori Schlegel's support, and all of our 2Ls that keep us in line. And we're looking forward in 2025 for our fiscal session and really learning from y'all again as
That's
we head into that one, and we'll get you back on Mornings without Brian Haldane the next time for a full segment, and we'll catch up and hear all the great things you're planning to do in 2025. Thank you, my man. Have a good one.
Happy to fill in. Y'all have a happy New Year.
Thank you, sir. He's Big John. We're back after this. Mornings without Brian Haldane.
Mornings without. Have you talked to Brian? No, he's out. He's checked out.
He loves it.
He loves it. Does he usually take out this whole week, or is he usually out this week? Is Brian usually out this week?
I don't know. This is my first
Oh, that's true. This
Yeah.
is true. I forget. Hopefully, we're making your job easy when he's out. We're trying.
Yesterday was like reaching for content. Today's like, okay, good. I like that. Things are just flowing.
All right. So we have Nathan on next. Are you texting the group? Or just
Just
gonna...
sent, his number to him.
Okay.
It's 408 225 408 or 458 for the number to call in.
Richie just texted me. He's like,
I can't tell what number I wrote. I think
If they want to call the hotline, it's 225-408-1897.
that's what. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. My handwriting's terrible.
Richie texts us. He's like, listening in on y'all. Y'all doing y'all crushing it. Good stuff.
Really? Huh.
See, this is our little December 26th, national holiday for all moms who just did every single thing to make the Christian magic happen. Who's with me? That's what we should make it. That's our national day. That's what I should say. Oh, I bet your niece is spoiled rotten on Christmas, huh? It's all about her. She's just that's the best thing ever. You know? Did you video it or doing it? Throwing her head back. And we're back. Is Nathan on? Yeah. I love that so much.
What starts right now is the final hour, final Friday of the year.
Final Friday.
Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin, and Emily Chenervert holding down the fort on this final Friday, having a great show. And we're going to really end this hour, I think, with just some phenomenal guests as well. About to come on, Nathan Russ with the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board, Governor Jeff Landry himself, then the Attorney General Liz Murrill. They've all just had phenomenal years, and we're just here to kind of let them run with it and talk about all the great things they're doing and making Baton Rouge and Louisiana great and welcoming people home.
That's right. That's right. No, we have a good last hour, and we are going to be, like you said, kicking it off with Nathan Rust, and we have Nathan on the call.
Nathan, good morning, sir. How you doing, my man?
Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all, my friends?
We are doing well. How was your Christmas with your fam? Have a good week this week?
Exhausting.
Said every dad and mom, right?
Exactly. No, but a lot of fun. Wonderful Christmas. Just still recovering. But had a great time with family.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thanks for spending some time with us today. And Nathan, what are some of the things, as you've served this year, and just some things that you're looking forward to in 2025 on the school board and EBR? Just wanted to kind of get your thoughts a little bit of, there's been a lot happen this year. There's been some great change or things moving forward, but just wanted to kind of get your thoughts a little bit on, from what you see that you're wrapping up, but really stepping into the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an interesting year to say the least. But I think 25, we've got some great things to look forward to. We've got a lot of work to do and a lot of work we're trying to queue up here and start to tackle as a school board. There's a number of issues on the board that we've been wanting to tackle for the first couple of years we've been in term. I think now that we've got a receptive superintendent, we've got a really good opportunity to start to work on these things. So one of the things you're going to start to hear a lot about is school realignment, or however you want to term it. You could call it consolidation. But what we're really talking about is aligning our facilities with the needs of our students. If you look across the parish, we've got a lot of schools that are under-enrolled, that are also understaffed in some ways because you can't fully staff an under-enrolled school. And so that ultimately reflects in the experience that kids get in a school and the quality of their education. And so I think something really important is we're going to try to align the facility footprint with what our enrollment is, so that we can have better facilities, better staff facilities for kids, and end up with, higher quality education for kids.
Well, I think that's so important. And I know I had read a little bit about that too. And you guys are, meeting and discussing that. And so I know that will impact a lot of families, but what will that process look like a little bit? And maybe you can't speak to everything yet, Nathan. I know there's a lot that'll be coming, but if, families are listening and they're, curious about what that could be for their students and for them where they are, Can you speak a little bit about what that could look like right in the future if there was a school that you're having to consolidate or to, I love what you said, really it is aligning it better to fit the family and aligning the footprint of that school system because we want to make sure we have enough teachers and all that. What would that how would that play out for families if they're listening in?
Yeah, so we've been talking a good bit about what that will look like because I think what's important to me and to members of the school board is that we do this in a way that is thoughtful, that is considerate to families that are going to be impacted by this, because it can be hard, it can be disruptive. People talk about how much schools mean to people in this community, and it's really true. If you go and talk to somebody that grew up in Baton Rouge, they're going to tell you where they went to elementary, middle, and high school especially, and it's going to tell you so much about their neighborhood and where they came from and what they're proud of. And so schools are really a hub. I mean, there's kind of two places in any community where communities are built, and that's schools and churches. And so we have to be really careful about how we go through this, because ultimately we're talking about you're going to close a school, right? Or you're going to consolidate multiple schools into one. And so what happens with the identity of that school? What happens to the families that care about it and the people that work in it? And so it's important to me, and I think it's important to the board, that we engage our community in this work, that we understand fully what it means to people when they have a school that may be closed or consolidated into another school. And we find ways to make that impact something that they can live with, something that they can bring the identity of their school with them, whatever that looks like. And so we're working on a process. It's still being drafted. The superintendent's been working hard on this. It's going to take some time, but I think over the next, from January through May, we're going to try to carefully work through this and engage our community in some real ways, go talk to people, and we're going to make some decisions around what's important to us, first of all, in our schools. So we're going to make some value choices about what do we want to be true for every kid that attends our school system. What kind of facilities should they be in? What kind of education should they be receiving? And then we can look at some data and let the data tell the tale. Work with facts and not assumptions, and really look at what we could do if we made some decisions, and then put that in front of our community and let them understand. Look, here's what you lose, but here's what you gain. And then hopefully hit some inflection points where we could sit and make some choices that folks on the school board and folks in the community have been wrestling with and have had a hard time taking in the past.
Well,
so it's going to be tough, but necessary.
Well, thank you so much, Nathan, for sharing that this morning. I wish we had more time to talk about this. I know we'll have you on again. I appreciate you and your service and all the school board members and our superintendent for working hard on this issue. And but have a wonderful new year, and we will be right back.
Thanks.
I was trying to get out of there quick.
That's always. Because the brakes, if the brakes, I wish he almost did like the brakes, like double brakes. Does that make sense? Like when I do football, I have like total control of the brake times, on everything. So it's not, we don't have any of these hard things to do.
Right. Don't want to get any of these ads or these people in trouble.
Especially the ones at at the 8 o'clock hour, just literally takes over.
And then also 8:32, right? Or is it 8:30? Is also the other one, like 7:30, 8:30?
Yeah.
Those are the ones.
Yeah. That's the ABC.
That's the one we're gonna get. Yeah.
I love he calls it.
That would be the biggest get to get if we could ever get Trump to call in. How cool would that be? Well, good morning, Mr. President. Hey, John, this is Donald.
It would be amazing. This is going to be the
Like to
best
talk
segment
to
ever
Miss
you've ever had.
Emily.
It's phenomenal. You're doing a great job. It's like the best job ever. Best job.
Love Baton Rouge, so good. Love the river. Love the tigers. Great tigers, big tigers. They're the best tigers.
All right. We'll kick this off.
Pretty cool.
Biggest issues, we had this one we're going to go to break and come back with the governor.
He's
No.
all the way to 8:31.
Right.
He's all the way till the
I'll let you wrap. You can take us to break.
long one.
You could take us whenever the AG comes on. You want to talk about that whole like we can talk about anything, but Super Bowl, New Orleans, end of the year. I like the end of the year stuff just because there's so much to discuss.
Kind of the same with Nancy that we did.
Yeah.
Secretary Landry.
This is this was like a few weeks ago, but it was a few weeks ago, but a few days ago when that was averted, that big announcement, the fiscal stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. The revenue estimating conference. Welcome back, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Dixon McMakin with Emily Chenervert. And at this time, let's welcome in the 57th governor of the great state of Louisiana, recently turned 54 years young, Governor Jeff Landry. Governor, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Dixon. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great, sir. I know the other day you were on with Senator Miguez with that NPR sweet, smooth voice he has. Emily and I are proud Italians, a little louder on this show.
We
so
are
welcome
a little louder.
in.
We're definitely a little louder, I think.
I mean, and you got Emily with you. I tell you, Dixon, you may be outdoing Blake now. I hate to tell you. I mean, you got a radio voice and Emily with you. I mean, I'm going to have to talk to Blake. He's got to up his game.
Yeah. Moon Griffon and Brian Haldane, eat your heart out. Absolutely.
That's
so just celebrated your birthday. You just celebrated Christmas. And like us, Governor, you just finished or are finishing your first year in the new role. We've been asking kind of everybody that's coming on today, what are you most proud about in that first year and of your accomplishments?
Man, I got to tell you, I'm really most proud of y'all, of the legislature, and the ability of the legislature to respond to the needs of the people as quickly as they did. I mean, look, we set out a very robust and aggressive agenda at the beginning of this year, telling the people of this state that we were going to work on public safety, that we were going to work on education, that we were going to work on the economy, and through three special sessions, one forced upon us, but two based upon the promises that we made, that being the crime session and the tax reform session, we did it. I mean, we tackled public safety in the first or in the second special session. We addressed education in the regular session. We finished up tax reform, and then we eclipsed tax reform with an unbelievable announcement of that $10 billion AI facility up in North Louisiana, which represents the largest private investment ever in that part of the state, since statehood, since 1812. And I think a lot of that has to do with business folks around the country looking and saying, man, Louisiana may have finally got their act together. And the tax reform session helps our businesses in Louisiana, those that have struggled and stayed with a bad government, poor taxes, natural disasters. And so, look, I think the future is extremely bright for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little sports analogy going. When you just said that, I was thinking about a a baseball pitcher that only has one pitch, and everyone knows how to respond to that. But watch out, Louisiana might just have gotten a curveball to throw in with that fastball with pretty good heat. So now watch out, Louisiana's coming after these other batters, these other states that we're going to start surpassing in the rankings.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I'm hoping that in the first quarter of the new year, we're going to have another big announcement for another economic project that I believe is coming to Louisiana as well. These are things that we have been working on all year long. But again, I think that the signals from the signals that people are getting based upon the results of the tax reform session, which by the way, look, everybody's getting like a Christmas present come January 1. Everyone's income taxes are going to go down. We also have paved the way to continue to reduce our taxes in the state and further work with our local governments to help them better stabilize the revenue they need to provide the services to our people. So, again, I think we're finishing the year on a great note.
Well, my heart just skipped a little bit of a beat when you just said, I'll have an announcement coming. It's like, if he says special session already in the next 3-4 days.
No. We're going to let y'all all relax. We're going to give y'all, we've got a lot of big things coming up in January. We're going to inaugurate and swear in a brand new president.
Yep.
Right. We're getting a new administration up in D.C. And we've got an unbelievable congressional delegation that we're sending up there. So we've got some exciting things up there. And then on February 7th? I'm probably going to get this wrong. The Super Bowl, New Orleans is going to host for record tying, I think 11th or 13th time a Super Bowl, and which brings the entire world's eyes will be on Louisiana in the first week of February. So, again, great first quarter.
And then, of course, March 29th, we have our election. We just passed those constitutional amendments. Going to want the people to get out there and vote yes on all those. And I know we'll be kind of hitting the campaign trail in all of our districts around the state to promote that as well.
That's correct. We have another
big, Absolutely. Yeah, look, and like y'all recognize, it's important for voters out there to understand that certainly those that have been frustrated with the inability of the legislature to truly get their hands around the budget, that constitutional amendment helps y'all, Dixon. It helps our teachers because it gives teachers a permanent pay raise, and we do it in a very responsible manner by paying down debt and using the savings from that debt payment to be able to give our teachers a permanent pay raise. We doubled the standard deduction for seniors inside of that constitutional amendment as well. We paved the way to eliminate the inventory tax to help our businesses as well. And so there's a lot of great things inside that constitutional amendment. Plus, I think we shaved like 11 or 12 or 13,000 words out of the Constitution with just one yes vote. How about that?
I think there's a lot of people that were probably fine with that. I believe we have such a long Constitution. And Governor, recently, a few days ago, there was a report that, many are concerned, you as well, a lot of us in the legislature about, the fiscal cliff and what was going to happen this next year and, working through that. But it seems as though that we're looking at it's going to be averted with a lot of the reforms and which, not done coming back in the next session and fiscal session and looking at efficiencies and how we can make, government better and function better and smaller. But talk about that a little bit. I mean, what was that like when you kind of saw that that report that about that fiscal cliff and how we feel like we're going to be okay next year?
Well, Emily, you bring up a great point. I mean, look, again, you always got naysayers out there and those that love to just criticize us and whatnot. But I don't think the people of this state realize what we have just done. I cannot remember, certainly in my lifetime, under which the state of Louisiana was able to avert a fiscal cliff while giving taxpayers a tax cut. I mean, think about that. I mean, just think about what we were able to accomplish in just 2 weeks. We were able to reduce our income tax, move 15 spots in the Tax Foundation's rankings, while averting budgetary problems next year, under which we'd only been able to cut from higher ed and education and healthcare. And so, again, I mean, it's a new day with a new dawn in Louisiana, and we're going to ring in 2025 with a great start.
Yeah, we're excited. Of course, we were technically at the Capitol for 74 official working days. I did the numbers, 5 sessions with our organizational session, regular, 3 specials that we had. And I know, Governor, some days you probably like, why is Dixon still up here talking to me or talking to Kyle or Andre or Kate? But, I think Emily and I, the rest of our rookie class, we enjoyed it, and we kind of felt a mandate to be there and to get to work for the people of Louisiana and finally have a state, I think as you've said many times, a state as good as our people.
Yeah, I mean, really what I'm wondering is, why is Dixon counting the days, Emily? Why is he doing that?
He told me that the other day. I was like, hey, it's
I'm like,
impressive.
Dixon.
Numbers,
Dixon, if
guys.
you got
Numbers
that
dork.
much time, when you come over to the mansion, I'm going to give you plenty to do. You'll be counting days. Like, gee whiz, you the best.
I love it. I think at Dixon, it shows your commitment. It shows that you're in it. But I will say this on a serious note. There's so many of our colleagues that have felt like, no matter what, they're away from family, spending a lot of time. For us, we are in the greater Baton Rouge area, so it's a little different. Yep. We're not as far, but people make great sacrifice. But I heard so many, Governor, I know as you did as well, I'm sure, that people were eager to be there, and they know that this was a packed year, especially for those of us that just got elected. And we'll see what's next. But what, Governor, for people listening, like, what's 2025 going to bring? What are some things that you hope to do still? We did a lot the first year, but what's ahead? What are some things that's on your plate?
Well, look, we're going to be announcing our fiscal responsibility project. We have a fiscal responsibility czar. This is something we started 8 years ago. So we were doing a Doge program before Doge was cool, right? And we're going to announce that. We're going to work on reforming the Department of Transportation and Development. We're going to work on our infrastructure. We're going to continue to focus on public safety, education, and economy. But I think we're going to do it in a manner that's certainly a lot easier than what we had to go through this year, because we did, I think, a lot of the hard work now. And look, Emily, I think y'all have to, my hat's off to y'all. And I think that, again, the voters and the citizens out there need to understand what we were able to accomplish with the legislature. For those legislators who are just coming in, who are freshmen, the things that you were able to tackle and address during those special sessions and basically the decisions and the tough decisions that we had to make only has honed in the skills of your ability to understand how to move the state in a positive direction. So again, everything we did this year was kind of like practice, right? A lot of dry fire exercises that at the end of the day are going to pay a lot of dividends for the people of this state. So this year, we're going to just work on making it better.
And refining it as we go. I know I've committed that to people that have already asked, hey, what's next for y'all? So, well, we did so much, and now we're going to go back, review it all, track the data. I was a big fan of that, Governor. We always talked about tracking it as we go. We're not just putting these laws in place to say set it and forget it. This is more of this is going to be a roux that we're going to keep stirring that roux till we get that nice,
good analogy,
caramel color in that roux, and then before we put the Trinity in there and start making that gumbo.
Oh, look, anybody who thinks that we're going to just lay on our laurels is really got another thing coming. We're going to continue to work towards doing exactly what you said earlier in the segment, is that we're going to work to ensure that the people of this state have a government as good as them.
Yeah, I love that quote. I always heard it on the campaign trail. And, Governor, as we kind of finish up our last minute here, of course, we thank you for the time this morning. We've enjoyed being a freshman class with you in our first year, and we're excited for what's to come in 2025 and wish you and Miss Sharon and JT a happy new year, and we'll be seeing you for those new day counters come 2025.
Well, listen, I kind of like, I'm going to have to tell Brian, I mean, he has to be careful. I kind of like the ring of Emily and Dixon in the morning. I mean,
you keep us over at that Capitol. We can, we'll come by as many times as we can, sir. So,
well, and look, we want to wish everyone listening out there a very, very great holiday season. Hope they had a Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a Happy New Year. We want everyone to stay safe and ring in that new year and enjoy the work that we've done to make this state better. So again, everyone out there, we're wishing them a very happy new year.
He is our 57th governor, the newly 54-year-old Governor Jeff Landry. Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.
All right, you and Emily, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thank you, Governor. So there he was, our governor, and if that just doesn't get you excited for the year to come, Emily, I don't know what does.
I know. You're right. This is true. It was a great segment, and we have some more coming.
Yeah, when we come back after this, we'll close out the final Friday of the year with our Attorney General, Liz Muriel, who's also
Can't wait to have her on.
Kicking butt and taking names. Can't wait to talk to her. And we come back with Mornings Without Brian Haldane.
It was a good timing right there. It was fun. The end of the year stuff is good.
It was a fun, like, kind of.
Like the good end of the year vibe of like what you're. It's a good. And Fridays are so relaxed and chill. What is his segment? He always does the food on Fridays, doesn't he? He has somebody. I always listen to him what he's eating, and I'm like, I need to go there. That sounds so good.
I texted Jim. Yeah, he said no. Then I was thinking all the other people I know are fast food restaurants. You know.
Yeah. I had a buddy. He'd been great. Montana Seafood on Florida, but they were out of town. I loved them, but I need to get him on. He would have been here. He's a big personality, also.
God, we totally like. God.
We need to have.
I don't think Gino would have waken up. You know. What about who? What's the place over on Government Street by Superior? Anthony's Deli. I went there during session one time, got a meatball and some cannolis. I don't think I've ever really met you. I was like, nah, my district's on the other side of the street. So I didn't come to your boss. He's like, oh man, I mean, just because it's not in your district don't mean you can't come.
That's amazing.
He's checking with her right now. I have some in filler time. She doesn't answer.
We still have. I still have some. We talked about some resolution stuff if y'all want to. That's unbelievable. I'm looking at Jamie's, by the way. I saw your post.
Then my sister like pointed the gifts and watched. Having complete head tilt.
Well, it's like all eyes are on her, right? So it's like whatever she. It's so cute. She's so cute.
'57th governor, but 46th attorney general is what she is.
She's the 46th. All right.
She's going to be calling us, they said.
you text you? I love it.
I thought he was going to say the thing like, yeah, Dixon, if it was just you that called me, I probably wouldn't have answered. But since you got him today, I decided I'd call it.
I love it.
Man, we get to year 6 with him. Like, I'm going to be able to call people, and they're going to think it's him. Like, I'm going to have it
You're
down.
going to have it down. You're going to have his
I'm gonna-
accent
Oh, man, it's going to be awesome.
down.
I can't wait for the cards I stole of his when I write Vinny a note next year. Like, Vinny, need to see you now.
He's going to go up there. Wait, did you really?
No, I've got him for the next session to do. I'll make sure I tell Ann when I'm going to call her before that, hey, he's coming up. Like, Vinny, that's not from him.
This is too good. This is too good. You could really do some damage with that. You could just do it like after a certain vote. WT. You'd be like, people would be like, he's mad. You're really good. That's too good stuff. I gotta get some cards made. They're like yours. I like yours. I just have like thank you cards.
Well, Bess was asking me today, she's like, do you not have the business card with the seal? I was like, no, I only bought my little card things. I don't have like business cards. Lose them. Welcome back, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States, North America, Northern Hemisphere, the world, universe, solar system. Mornings without Brian Haldane. All-Star Show, final Friday of the year with Emily Chenervert. We are having a good time, and we are excited to welcome in now our good friend, the 46th Attorney General of the great state of Louisiana, Miss Liz Muriel. Attorney General, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing this morning?
We're having too much fun filling in for Brian this morning. We are just so honored of this all-star crew we've had today and close out the year with, John, I don't know if I can say this word, but can I say badass on the radio? Is that allowed?
I mean, I don't know. I don't make the rules. You just did.
So this is my favorite lady, our badass Attorney General, Liz Muriel, who's just taking names, kicking butt. And Attorney General, we've been asking kind of everybody the first year, we were all rookies together in our new roles, and what are you most proud about of your accomplishments, which are just through the roof this year?
Gosh, it's been a busy year, Dixon.
Yep.
I think, I really have to say that I'm proudest of the accomplishment in New Orleans because that was a big joint effort by a lot of folks to try and bring crime down in a city that's important to all of us. And, I stood up went from 2 prosecutors to 22 prosecutors in 6 months. Wow. They've been doing a really, really good job in New Orleans. And, I think that we're also expanding some of that crime fighting activity statewide and offering other district attorneys assistance. And, that's what I see as part of the role of our office is to be kind of a central force multiplier for everybody, to be able to do things that individual offices couldn't each do or couldn't sustain because they just don't have the budgets or the need. But collectively, we all have a need. So it's been a good year, though.
And using your office's expertise, your personal expertise, and all that. I know we have a place down in New Orleans, and a lot of family still lives there. My family's actually there right now, and people can already see the practical, positive effects of what your office with Troop NOLA have done. And really, it's just the beginning. Of course, we have the Super Bowl coming February 9th, and we're going to continue those efforts down there in New Orleans, which is the front door to the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, we're going to keep that effort up. I think that it's necessary to have a sustained effort, not just to kind of go in one hit and then leave where crime starts moving back up again. This has to be a sustained effort. But we also need to move it into Baton Rouge, and we need to look at Shreveport. And I've already, been in touch quite often with Hill or Moore, and we're going to be looking at what we can do up in Shreveport as well. So, we got to look at the whole problem statewide, not just in that city, but it is an important city for a lot of reasons.
And of course, Attorney General, you're in your first year here. I think a question Emily and I get a lot as state reps, but maybe to you as well now is, but you were in the office, but was there a big surprise that you maybe encountered or something that, I don't know, you found interesting or whatnot sitting in the different chair in that office this past year?
Well, yeah, it's a very different job to go from being someone who is appointed. I mean, I loved my job as Solicitor General. I think will be one of the greatest jobs that I've ever had. But it is very different to be an elected official where, you owe your job to the people of the state of Louisiana. And, when I meet somebody and they tell me that they voted for me, that's a big deal to me. It's they gave me a gift that's very precious, the gift of their vote and their confidence and their hopes for our future. So it matters a lot. It's a very different, I think, perspective to be an elected official than to be in an appointed position.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got a lot of votes. There's no doubt about that one. So a lot of people must be coming up to you and telling you that around the state. And, of course, the past sessions, y'all also had a legislative agenda as well that we got through there as well. Are there any things currently kind of on your mind that you're looking forward as we head into the 2025 fiscal session coming up?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. We have some legislation that, based on my review of the ankle monitoring for juveniles in New Orleans, I've got some ideas for some legislation that I think would kind of restrict the use of ankle monitors and ensure that they are in fact being monitored. I think there's still some work that we need to do on the criminal justice side of things to ensure accountability for those who commit crimes, especially with juveniles. But I'm also looking at some legislation related to consent decrees for state and local government. I'd really like to see some legislation that requires the governor and the attorney general to sign off on those before any agency, board, commission, or municipality could sign, or local board could sign a consent decree, because they have such, long and expensive implications for the entire state frequently, but also for the local citizens and taxpayers.
Wow, just always the knowledge that our Attorney General has is something I really don't think people truly appreciate, because, right, everyone talks about I would say the governor and the legislature, but you don't realize that we talked to Nancy Landry earlier today, our Secretary of State, just how y'all's brains are also just always kind of working and thinking about the next thing to make our state the best we can be, and that's exciting to hear.
Well, it's a great job. I love it. I'm grateful to the voters for letting me have it, and we are constantly trying to think of ways that we can make the Department of Justice kind of more relevant to the needs of the people of our state now.
Well, Attorney General, it's always interesting to me when I look across the country and I look at relationships of just, governors and attorney generals, and in your role, do you find this is just kind of more of a relationship type thing? Do you think that, as an AG, do you have attorney generals that you work with and that you connect with across the country, where y'all look to see like what works in some states and what's working in comparison to, would that be something in Louisiana, whether it's issues with crime or the border or things like that? I'm always fascinated with that, of how there's people that have, the same roles but in other states. Is that something in this first year that you've built relationships with, even across the country a little bit, with other AGs?
Yes, Emily, I'm so fortunate that I was able to build a lot of those relationships before I became Attorney General. And now as Attorney General, I can, I work even more closely with a lot of the Attorney Generals from other states. And I can tell you that, Alabama is, not that different from Louisiana. I have a great relationship with Steve Marshall. Alan Wilson in South Carolina is another great friend. A lot of similar challenges in their state. Really, all across the South. Lynn Fitch is in Mississippi, and she's a great friend. We did a joint tailgate party at the LSU Ole Miss football game, and that was a lot of fun. But, we just have a lot of people in Louisiana with family members in a lot of those states. Those states sometimes have demographics and voting demographics that are similar to ours. And so it's always great to be able to look at what they're doing and sometimes borrow their ideas and implement them here. And sometimes they might borrow ours.
Right. It's a good point. And I ask that because I do think sometimes, as us as legislators, Dixon, we look at legislation in other places and we're saying, okay, we have an issue here or this is a concern. And we looked at some of that within the tax policy in some other states. And so I feel like for listeners, it's one thing is, if something's not working or we need to, tweak some things, why not go talk to some other people in other places that are similar to us? And I know, Liz, I think you would probably say as our AG that, relationships are key no matter what role we're in. Right. And to get things accomplished. And so I was just curious in that and that factor. But what is something else for this next year, though, when you look at your office, your team, and anything else specifically in the state, in different regions of the state? You mentioned about trying to focus in Shreveport, a little bit on crime, like I said, New Orleans, and focusing on Baton Rouge. Is there anything else that is maybe from a federal issue that you see could be an issue here in Louisiana? Is there anything else that you kind of have your mind on or radar up?
Well, we have a lot of things that are kind of the continuing challenges in our office, and I'll be in the United States Supreme Court on our redistricting case.
Yes.
We're looking at the Ten Commandments case as that moves up through the system. I expect that to eventually end up in the United States Supreme Court. Not sure when, but I think that it will. I've got some other initiatives that I'm pursuing. I'm launching a statewide outreach program targeting minors for an anti-vaping outreach campaign with some settlement money that we have to spend on that particular topic. And I've done NIL deals with a lot of student athletes to help us deliver that message around the state. So that's an exciting initiative. I think I'm the only attorney general in the country who has, delivered our message in this particular way. So I'm real excited about that. I've got some other initiatives that I'm planning to implement. I'm borrowing an idea from one of my colleagues across the country. I want to appoint an individual in my office to be a fentanyl kind of opioid specialist to help coordinate operations and ideas and centralize some of the information about how to spend some of the opioid settlement money. And I don't control that. There's a board that does, but I think that this is an idea that the Arizona Attorney General's office has been implementing, and I thought it was a really good idea because there is no single individual in our state who kind of centralizes information, programming, best practices, and ideas on, what would be a good way to spend that money and make an impact across our state in the long term. So that's just a couple of things that I'd like to see in addition to just expanding our footprint on assisting the DAs and sheriffs in fighting crime.
Everything you've been doing it was awesome in 2024 to watch. Sorry, I kind of cursed there, badass, but I think it's true. So known you for many years, and congrats again to you and Mr. John, 32 years of marriage as a guy that's 1.5 years in. Thanks for your advice, for y'all's advice to me. I don't know if I'll share it on air, but it was good advice to keep me in line with my wife going forward. And we look forward to working with you and what's coming up in 2025. And, of course, with Secretary Landry and Commissioner Temple, Governor Landry, just the whole crew of us rookies that are out there now. And year one's in the books, and now we head on to year two in 2025 to make it the best we can. And we look forward to doing it with you, Attorney General, and thanks for spending time with us this morning.
Thanks. Love working with y'all, and thanks for having me.
Happy New Year to her.
Happy New Year.
She was our Attorney General, the 46th one, Miss Liz Muriel. She's just awesome. So when we come back, we'll finish up here our final little segment of Mornings Without Brian Haldane as we'll take you through the final Friday of 2024.
That's right.
We'll be back after this. Mornings Without Brian Haldane.
All right.
There's really only one word you can't say, right? I mean, that's kind of the rule. Yeah, that's kind of the rule. Read the bottom. work? You had your thingy up. There you go. Governor just said that was fun. Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
That's what we kept saying. His staff was just like, text me like, man, Blake's NPR boy.
Well, it's, radio. So I love TV too. So like morning show TV. I always said that. I love a morning show guy, like TV stuff. Radio. But with radio, you like your voice is you're trying to wake everybody up.
Yeah.
You're like waking everybody up. Get up, guys. Wake
I did that the one time I hosted. I did the full Good Morning Vietnam opener.
Oh, that's amazing.
Good morning, Baton Rouge.
I have to go get my windshield replaced.
Ooh.
Today. My husband's like, I have an appointment. Do not miss it. As soon as you get off the air. I was like,
I did that a couple weeks ago.
It's bad. It's been a while. I mean, I should have done it a long time ago.
What are we talking about at the end, everybody? What do you want to talk about?
You want to do New Year's resolutions?
Oh, there you go.
What could do?
Oh, boy.
But ones that you could actually accomplish. Let's talk. That's the focus, right? You do these things like I'm going to. I don't know. Like it's just stuff that just not. It's not going to happen. We all know.
Like you know.
Like
I'm not going to hit the gym. It's not even a resolution.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one. Like we're not even going to go there. Like you're saying, it's not even going to be a thing. I don't even know what mine would be, honestly. There is, let's see. Let me get I wrote some of them down. I don't really need
Oh,
a list.
really? Oh, you wrote them down? My
Well, I
goodness.
found everything I pull up though, the most popular is about saving more money and getting out of debt. That's what most people say. And spending less. The biggest is saving and getting out of debt. What is the most desired? Yep. Statistic poll, it says, which is the most popular New Year's resolutions in the U.S. for 2025 is to save more money, exercise more, and eat healthier.
I've been crushing Panda Express. It sounds terrible, but I only eat the grilled chicken and the broccoli. It's awesome.
No, Shane loves that.
I wish there was more than one of them in town, though. That's the problem.
A couple of them have been cut back on drinking alcohol. We know in Louisiana it's probably not a New Year's resolution for many people.
I don't know why you put that.
Start your own podcast. I don't know if we'd ever want to start a podcast.
I want to do a
I would do it, though.
McMakin monthly market update thing. I could do my daily
But for work?
Dixons. Yeah, but
Yeah.
for work, I want to. It's almost like the goal is like any positive thing I do for one aspect of my life, I want to try to do it for the others.
Mm-hmm. So, like, if you're doing it for legislative stuff like the Daily Dixon, you want to do it for
Work.
I used to do so many more little small videos and things. I really need to get a plan, and that really should be part of my focus. It's like when I was running and doing stuff, how I got into this was like updates on videos, updates on like legislation, federal stuff. People are like, I wouldn't know what's going on in the world if it wasn't for you these updates. But it's just like doing it on a consistent basis. Just quick things, reels. Or did you post it on YouTube or no?
Sometimes that's another part of the problem.
I just don't do
the way
that.
I do it, it varies how I post it.
I know.
Welcome back for the final time on a Friday. Mornings without Brian Haldane, Emily Chenervert, Dixon McMakin filling in for the B-Daddy himself as we close out 2024's Friday.
Yeah.
A couple minutes now, and John as well. I think, Emily, some New Year's resolutions. Is that what we're going to
Well, you
talk
know,
about?
this is the time where people are thinking about, am I going to have one at
Right.
all? Like, do I? You've got a few more days until 2025. I'll tell you, for me, I'm kind of like I sit down and do like a 3-year, like, where am I headed? Journal. I love to journal on on New Year's Day, a little quiet time, thinking about where I'm headed. But I did kind of look at a couple of these, and I did like this one thing of like maybe starting a gratitude journal. I know some people are like, oh, journaling, I don't do that. But just every day writing something that you're thankful for, it helps you kind of have that mindset of, life can be hard. Life's not perfect, but what am I thankful for today? I thought it was a good one.
I've seen some people do, every day, at the end of the day, they'll do a pit and peak. What was your pit of the day and what was your peak of the day?
That's right.
And it really reminds you sometimes when you do those peaks, you realize, man, I got it pretty good. Right?
We do those a lot with our kids at dinner a few nights a week. We call her a high-low.
High-low, yep.
What's our high of the day? And our kids love that. They love to talk about that. And which is really sweet. Most of the time, a couple of them, my son says, right now, this is my high. And I'm like, oh,
melts
right,
mama's
much your
heart.
Another one was like prioritizing sleeping more. Thinking about your bedtime, staying up too late. I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right? That could be one.
Much needed.
Much
for
needed.
Sure.
Plan a vacation.
Ooh.
It was like that women who vacation at least twice a year have a lower chance of having a heart attack. So husbands.
Just the women do?
I don't know. That's what it said.
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe it's just
a lot of pressure
do
for
so
these
much,
women out
right?
here.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Like, just plan. If you plan it out, I feel like there's more chances you're going to get it. You're going to take the vacation.
Right.
You can budget it a little better.
I think that goes back to journaling too. I think
Right?
it's so important to just keep a journal, mark some things down.
Journal, mark some things down. I don't know. Join a club, maybe like a book club to kind of break away from life. Go to the gym, do
Writing
something like
clubs,
that. But it was interesting. The biggest thing that I was researching this was people want to be better in budget and they want to save more money next year. That was one of the biggest things and they did a survey on 2025. It's saving money, paying off debt, all obviously losing weight. It's
of course.
Right?
That's always the goal, right? Whether we follow through with that or not, that's another thing.
That's another thing. It's always fun. But I did like to focus on family time, too. Like maybe just create a family night once a week. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have great intentions. Maybe it's once a month, right?
Movie
no pressure
nights
there.
With kids, stuff like that. Just at home. Yeah.
At home, maybe. Just maybe even committing to just eating dinner once a week together if you don't. We try to do that with our family. That was a good one. Anybody else? These last few seconds?
Here's mine. I'm already starting to do it. I'm trying to carry my rosary with me every day and say a rosary for someone that has impacted my life or made a positive purpose, and then let them know after I do it.
Yeah.
So
More
prayer.
time with the Lord.
15, 20 minutes a day. Do a little
That's
rosary,
right.
but keep it on me as well. So to be intentional when I'm having those bad moments.
More prayers in
Yep,
2025.
More prayers in 2025, for all.
Need
So,
'em.
John, thank you for your prayers and helping us.
Thank
and
y'all.
What a great show, Mornings Without Brian Haldane. He'll be back Monday, maybe. Ratings will go
knows,
down.
right?
Thank you.
It's been great.
Be great, Baton Rouge.
All right, guys. Good times.
You want to know what radio shows look like? There it is.
Yeah.
And this is how we do it, guys, right here.
That is how it's done. I don't know.
I like it.
I don't know about you guys, but like when I see papers like that, I don't know, man. Like I'm just like, oh, that's awesome.
6 hours.
I
of
love
radio.
that. Like when you started talking like journaling and like just note taking like that, I'm like, that just that's so
Good
satisfying to me.
It is. Well, it's weird. So I have like this. I'm very like organized and stuff, but then as I'm taking those meetings, I have an artistic side of my brain. Like I'm very.
Yeah, you can see her notes
I'm
over
midbrain.
here. Like,
I'm like midbrain. Like I have this one side of me that's like structured. I think that's why I work like line producing in movies because I'm super. I can be creative, but I'm also like, hey, here's the deal. we don't have the budget to blow up the bus on the film. So I get it. I know because there's. Huh? That's not mine.
No, you want it?
Why am I taking it?
It's Franz's
He's
Yeti.
gonna take Brian's Yeti.
It's still got the things in it. He's already used it.
No, he didn't use it yet.
But it's like that balance of just. So I have like this artistic side, but then I have also a side that's like, okay, I need to have some structure and have a list, but my list may not look like a type A complete person. You know. But you're a financial advisor, so.
Mine's always very excelled. Yeah.
All right.
Excel brain max.
No, John, did you head out as soon as you're done too?
Oh no, I gotta post.
You post all this stuff.